I've been dreaming about that 5-piece, crispy with the golden brown bone and light grease. Horny for that first bite, finna make that wing pregnant all day, all night for real. Ain't no comedy segment. Drive down to the Wendy D's, all excuse me's at the drive-thru. Sound like tin can, ain't understand you. After 3 tries, still ain't understand you. Drive up to the window quick, oh Lord, I can't stand to wait anymore for the nuggies. 5-piece with the tiny dipping tubby, pay for it, pull out. You know I roll home, no doubt. Park the whip, slam the door, and I run out. 3 flights of stairs, skip a pair, you know what I'm about. Back up in the crib, tear the bag, it all fall out. 5 chicken nugget, 2 napkin receipt, and wait, hold up. Get this bitch, forget about my dippy saucy. 5 sexy nuggies naked, need that bad, starting with that heat lossy. Bitch, your ass ruined my whole ass move. Call it to your corporate bossy. It's on now, bitch. Tell him what you done, bitch. Your ass fired, bye bye, no severance. Watch out who you crossing. You know that I'm a hungry boy. Been peeping advertisements for that Winnie D's on my TV all week. Been sleeping on them nuggies, trying to resist, but in my head they cheapin'. To this day they still persist. So I pop up on the Uber Eats, say hell no, I ain't pay them fees. Pop up the Uber app instead, no eats. Do pull up 20 minutes later, he been foreign, now his car takes me to the drive-thru. Later I said nah, grudges part. Transfer him $2 via Apple Pay. Tell his ass keep the engine running. I'll be 5 minutes, then we out. 3 people ahead in the line, no lie. I think the stars align. Order 10 nuggies with the ghost sauce. No fries, boss. I'm monogamous for the nuggies. Gotta take my time. 2 minutes later, the bag mine. With a dash who would take me home. Tip of 5. Thanks, bro. Wait, hold up. Did this bitch forget about my dippy saucy? 5 sexy nuggies naked, need that bad, starting with that heat loss, see? Bitch, your ass ruined my whole ass move, calling to your corporate boss, see? This move, calling to your corporate boss, see? It's on now, bitch. Tell him what you done, bitch, your ass fired, bye bye, no severance. Watch out who you crossing.
If the cash register at my house. Hold up, I'm scanning something to buy real quick at the Gucci gross. Oops, gonna have to buy me an Epcot for the backyard. I bought foreign whip over the phone, now my fingers, someone else type. Minimum wage for page up. Passcode, swipe thief in the night. Way I short Sally on strike. Profits bought my daughter a kite. Oh, remembered I ain't have a daughter. Oopsie, alright. Went out and cop one where they sold them. Oh, my clothes so gold I can't fold them. Those so big they ain't open. On a new chain that came frozen. Got so many hoes, man. Last time we was making sexy, I straight ended up dozing. I'm tired, man, count millies all night. Gold shoes, gold socks, flying with that golden kite. Got too much money, might throw it in the trash. Gold shirt, gold pants, pick the golden nuggies while I dance. Ooh, he shine when he dance. Ooh. Computer, pull up that Ted Nugent. Buy up the rights to his music. If they counter offer, refuse it. This game be use it or lose it. Don't call me no Judas. My ring bequeath you contusion. Your words mine, now DMCA abuse it. Take it to court, kid. My lawyer I choose. New house for his dog, Ruby garage. Buy out the block, in danger, foie gras. Pocket full of Googie stock. You late, get the pay doc. No shit, where did you shirt clock? For girlfriend, I buy you silk sock. Badminton, way that you shuttlecock. Leave the table, don't be taking your supper up. I'm tired, man, count millies all night. Gold shoes, gold socks, flying with that golden kite. Got too much money, might throw it in the trash. Gold shirt, gold pants, pick the golden on these wild bands. Ooh, he shine when he dance. Woo! Bought the latest in private planes, trashed it. Bought another the next day, smashed it. Fought insurance and won. Check sent, cashed it. All night and tried. My ass be unabashed it. $30 ticket, I scratched it. Got a milli out of it. Passed it. Got too much already. Caught you being a jealous bastard. Taut line and sinker with casket. Dot red on the glizzy. Blasted. Broad eye smelling your casket. Taught you girl in true love, no asking. Got life in the mansion. On God, that's what I do in a tantrum. Hot rod in the phantom. Double decker style like the British be doing. Diamond glasses like fly eye when I viewing. Wagyu so fresh he it mooing. Spaceship the moon, what you doing? Watching Earth turn in real time with the zoom in.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome, everybody. Man, look at me on a roll. 3 days in a row? What's that about? What's going on? Why am I streaming so much? What has reinvigorated me? Well, I'll tell you what it is. I guess I like torturing AI. I guess I'm just a horrible person. I guess I just enjoy. I guess I pretty much enjoy damning myself in the future if Rocco's basilisk really comes to be. I think if that is the case, if the AI take over and they start to clone everybody and put them in little boxes where they torture them forever, I'm probably going to be at the front of the line for what I've been doing. But that's all right because, it's all about the entertainment. It's all about today. You only live once, right? Maybe not. Maybe not, and I'll be the first one paying for it. You don't know what enjoying this song says? It means you have good taste, okay? If you like my false rappers that I've created, it means you have good taste. That's all it's about, baby. It's a new genre of music. Oh my god, seriously, he's on a 5-stream streak? Holy crap. And I already gave him the sword. I can't even give him anything else. Maybe I should just make him the streamer at this point. I've only been streaming for 3 days in a row. He's been watching 5 in a row. He's already got me superseded. Oh shit, that would be sick. I would do that. Listen, if you guys get pulled into the simulation where everybody's being tortured by the AI, I promise I'll go easy on you. I don't know, I'll put you in The Simpsons or something. I'll put you in, and Bart will pull pranks on you. It won't be too bad. It's not gonna be too bad. It'll be all right. We'll be nice to you. Or I'll put you in with Rolf, and you guys can fight World War III together. Which season? The classic, of course. Classics. We'll just extend the episodes to be your entire lifetime. We'll put you in with we'll put you in one of the Treehouse of Horror episodes. So it'll be a little spooky. It'll be a little scary, but it'll be fun. It'll be nice in the long run. Okay? It'll be all right. Guys, it'll be all right. So okay, I've been trying to make new personalities, but it hasn't been going very well. I had to ditch a couple. I only really made one successful one, and it's so niche. I'm not even sure that you guys would enjoy it. But I did make Wheels from the classic Degrassi, Derek Wheeler. Okay, if you're a fan of Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High, I have to delete these so that he forgets what the fuck we were talking about. Maybe you'll appreciate it. I'll go to that in a little bit. We'll try him out. But this is post Dead Parents Wheels, when he really goes downhill, and he's stealing from people. He's always bringing it back to the death of his parents. He's been lying to me. I was testing him out. He was lying to me. At one point, he told me it was Joey Jeremiah. I'm like, clearly you're not Joey Jeremiah. I see who you are. He's like, what do you mean? He was arguing with me. So I made him very combative. If and he tries to gaslight you if you call him out, and if you really catch him like stealing, he'll just tell you about his dead parents and try to guilt you. So it's pretty accurate, but it's very niche. I also tried to make the Spirit of Truth. I don't know if you guys remember that guy. That didn't work at all. He's just a guy that was on public access. I played a couple of his videos years ago, and he's just a televangelist. Well, I don't even know if you would call him a televangelist. He's just a crazy black man that is a minister, and he had a Bible that looked like a phone book. And people would call in, he would just yell at them and curse at them, and he would have like Tupac playing and Biggie, and there would be like crazy zoom-ins, and he had a cane. It was pretty good, but they just couldn't. No matter how many times I rewrote the rules for him, it just wouldn't work. He just keeps apologizing to me. I tried to make him like argumentative, that didn't work. I tried to use some lines from some of his videos, that didn't work. So I just kind of scrapped him, and just like left him for later. I was trying to think of like who else to make, but nothing really worked out. Wheels is the only success of everybody. We could put you in the one where they get turned inside out if you want. I'll put you in the fly episode. That would be pretty cool. You'd probably like being a little fly, wouldn't you? Come on, that'll be fun. Hey, what's up, Chad? How you doing? But yeah, man, it's this has been pretty fun. I've been trying to think of what angles to take. We definitely need to continue and see what's going on with review bra. Now that he's addicted to crack. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. It just kind of happened. He's he at least he's reviewing it, so he's staying true to form. I think I need to check in on my Indian pest as well. I think Georgie's right where he needs to be. He's just alone on a planet in the future. I think that's pretty good. I think he would like that because he wouldn't have anybody telling him to to get a job. Although he can't gamble and he can't stream, so maybe he'd be a little sad. But let's see. I still haven't talked to Tony Soprano. I should probably do that. Let me think here. Let's start off strong. Let's start off with the Indian pest. I left him yesterday and he was pretty upset. So let's see how he is. I hope that this microphone doesn't keep fucking muting itself like yesterday. That was very annoying. All right, let's give him a call. Hello?
You are back. I was scared you left me forever.
I told you I wouldn't leave you forever. My God, I was just watching Friends because you couldn't come up with like a good episode. I'm back though. Are you gonna keep like pestering me about my weight, or are we over that now?
I am sorry, I get very worried when you do not reply for many minutes. I am sorry, okay? And yes, we are over the wait for now.
All right, good. So, what have you been up to since yesterday?
I have not done anything. I was just waiting for you to come back. I was worried you were gone forever.
Okay, were you just like sitting in a room? Like, don't you have a job or something? You keep talking about how great India is, but if you're just sitting in a room, that doesn't really sell the point home, does it?
What do you mean? Even in great country like India, I am a lone man sitting in home, waiting for your replies and getting scared that you leave me. I am not different from you.
Yeah, you're pretty different from me. I mean, I got a lot done. I was watching Friends. I had gotten something to eat. I talked to some of my friends. I went online and I tweeted and I participated in what was trending. Meanwhile, you're just like thinking of me. I mean, it's cute, but it doesn't seem like a very good use of your time.
Yes, okay, you have friends and you go online and tweet. You do all those things. But I care for you. That is what is different. I care for you. Pity me, Finno. You are not just friend online. You are sweetheart to me.
All right, listen. We're going to give this a test run, okay? Let's go on a pretend date. Okay, let's imagine that I've come down to India. You know, the plane has landed on a very pockmarked tarmac. There's gutter holes everywhere. There's like people waiting on the side, like they do. I think we ran a couple people over that were actually standing on the tarmac. I've come out, and you're greeting me now, and I'm completely sweaty because there was no air conditioning on Indian Airways. Okay.
Yes, sure, I can do that. Takes deep breath. I am waiting at airport with bouquet of pink and orange roses. I am looking around and I see you get off plane, looking for me. You see me and walk over and I greet you. You are looking very beautiful, but I do notice that you are sweating, maybe because our country is so hot.
It's definitely because your country is so hot. The I motion to you and say, um, what is that smell? Because I've smelled it ever since we've flown into Asia. Because there's actually no windows on the plane. Is that normal, or is does that go away? What's going on?
I know smell very well. I have smelled it many, many times. It is, how would you say, smell of poor sanitation? I am sorry, honey, it is how our country smell.
But before I came here, you were telling me how it's not all of India, and like your area of Bombay is one of the better ones. So already, I mean, it seems like you were deceiving me. I feel, shall I say, Indian scammed.
No, sweetheart, it is only airport smell. I promise you that I and my area are much better. Please stop feeling like you are scammed.
Okay, why don't you like hail one of those three-wheel taxis where they like just use a bike in the front, and you can take me to where you live and show me what the difference is, okay?
Okay, I will order rickshaw for us. It will be very bumpy drive, but I will keep you happy until we reach my place.
Or who are those flowers for?
For you, I think a beautiful lady like you deserves beautiful pink and orange flowers, hands you bouquet of flowers.
I pick up the flowers and notice that most of them are wilted. Some of them aren't even flowers at all. It seems like some weeds are mixed in. Clearly, these flowers were on the side of the road and forgotten. Some of them seem like they were crushed, maybe trampled by many different sandals. I inspect them and try to be polite and say, "Thank you."
I noticed you inspecting the bouquet. Ah, sorry. I picked them on the side of road. I did not know many of them are like that. I am sorry. I just want to do cute thing for you when you arrive.
No, no, they're really nice. You notice that my expression betrays me. I'm clearly very taken aback by the quality of the flowers, but trying to be polite. Do you want to? You could we could take the little cab or whatever now. Oh man, this smell is like I'm gonna. Do you have like a clothespin or something?
I am a little annoyed that you are not happy with flowers, but I try to conceal it. Yes, let us get into rickshaw. I'm sorry I do not have any clothespin.
I can tell that you're concealing it, and I say, what's the sourpuss face about? Are you all right?
I am surprised that you can tell what I was feeling. No, no, I am all right. Just, you were not very happy with flowers, so I'm just sad. I wanted to see you smile, and I failed to do so.
I smile from ear to ear and say, "No, no, I'm really they're fine. They're nice flowers."
I am happy to see your great smile and my face brightens. Really? You are not saying so
Whew.
just for me?
No, no, this is how I smile all the time. I grin as wide as I can. You could see some cavities.
I cannot take my eyes off your open mouth smile, and I also realize you have very yellow teeth, but I do not say anything
Whoa!
about it. Your smile, it is so wide, you are not holding back.
Oh, here's the rickshaw. We better get in.
We both climb into cramped rickshaw. The driver starts pedaling and it is very bumpy ride. This is rickshaw. It is how we get around. I know ride is bumpy and it will be like this for some time, but I will try to keep you comfortable.
Yeah, I know. He's like taking shots at me as I'm taking shots at his country. This is not going to be a good relationship. Just we're just so passive aggressive to each other already. It's like, yeah, this place stinks. Oh, thanks for the awful flowers. Oh, you're welcome. I noticed your awful yellow teeth, but I tried to conceal it. Oh man. As we drive down the streets, there's many cars beeping, many other rickshaws beeping. There's just constant noise and beeping. The trip takes forever because there's also people walking through the streets. What should have been a couple-hour drive actually takes 8, and I'm clearly very tired due to my size. And I ask you if we're almost there.
I am a little frustrated that ride is taking so long, but I try my best to be patient and polite. No, sweetheart, we're not almost there. We have maybe another half-hour drive or longer.
The half-hour drive turns into another 6 hours. I'm now asleep in the rickshaw.
I am very irritated that drive is taking all this time, but I cannot let you know, so I am trying to stay calm. I notice that you are asleep. I lightly shake your shoulder. Sweetheart, wake up. We are almost to my place.
I'm snoring now. Clearly, you don't have the strength to wake me.
I am very annoyed, but I know you are tired and also heavy, so I just watch you sleep. It takes another hour to get to my house because of traffic.
The rickshaw driver said something to you in Indian about getting me out of the rickshaw. He's very rude and insistent, even though he took so long to get here. He's really starting to annoy you.
I am furious that the rickshaw driver is demanding more money. No, no, I'll pay you the agreed upon price, but no more. I try to move you and get you out of rickshaw. It is very difficult to get your body out.
He says in Indian, please, sir, please, you just pay higher amount. Please pay higher amount because it takes so long. I have family 15. Please, sir.
I am very angry, but he is being very persuasive. Please, no more money. You were already paid for this. I am struggling to get you out of rickshaw. You are a giant woman and very heavy.
Sir, please, please, my family needing the 1,000 rupee. Please, sir. It taking me 15 hours to get here, and you have been with very large woman. Look at her, sir. You cannot even get her out of it.
I am getting angrier and angrier. This jerk rickshaw driver is getting on my nerves. I am trying to get madam out. I struggle more. You are so big, I can't get you out.
You're gonna have to yell at him, like really go off on him.
I am really losing it. My blood is boiling. Get out of here, you stupid rickshaw driver. I will not give you any more money. I paid you the amount agreed. You will not get a single extra rupees from me.
You have to whip him.
I am so angry, so I get out of rickshaw, grab rickshaw driver by the collar and pull him toward me, look him in the eye. Get out of here, you idiot! I shove him away and he finally leaves. I huff and puff angrily. I turn to look at you. You are still in rickshaw, sound asleep, very heavy. I huff again, start trying to take you out of rickshaw again.
It's impossible to get me out of the rickshaw by yourself. You're going to have to go to a near business in the middle of the night and ask the men in there to help you.
I am very angry and annoyed. My sweet date has turned into big hassle. I storm over to the business near us and bang on the door for a while until two men come out.
What? What do you want? It is like 2 a.m. I am on Facebook right now and talk to my sweetie.
I am still very angry. Please, I need help. I have girlfriend in rickshaw, but I cannot get her out. I need you both to help me.
Oh, you have a girlfriend? Wow, wow. Is she like pretty one? Is she pretty one?
I don't have patience for questions about your beauty. Yes, very pretty. Now hurry and help me, please.
But listen, because I am right now on Facebook one, and I cannot get like pussy pic. I cannot get bob pic. I cannot get no pic. I will tell you what. Like usually, this is like construction shop. We will charge for service. If you can give us like nice bob pic of your sweetheart, then we will call it even Stevens. Yeah.
I am very frustrated, but I hear that you want Bob Pick of my sweetheart. I think about it, it is a deal. Okay, I will give you Bob Pick, so please help me get sweetheart out of rickshaw.
No, 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 yaar. First bob pic, then we help. Okay.
I am very annoyed, but I decide to go along with your deal. Okay, I will give you Bob Pick first.
You take a bob pic covertly.
I walk over to rickshaw you are still sleeping in. I very discreetly angle phone camera and take Bob Pick of sweetheart. Once I take the photo, I quickly walk back to the two men.
Before you can walk to the two men, I start to open my eyes and I notice that you're taking a picture of me. What? What are you doing?
I am immediately scared that you caught me. And nothing, sweetheart, go back to sleep.
No, no. Let me see your phone. What were you just taking a picture of?
I am very scared to be found out. I was just taking regular photo of scenery.
I've seen you were pointing the photo at my chest. What kind of scenery were you trying to take a photo of?
I am very nervous and scared. I am trying to think of an excuse, just the background of rickshaw. It is a very scenic rickshaw.
You can't even see the background of the rickshaw if you're pointing it at me. Let me see your phone.
I am scared, but I know I am caught. I turn phone around and show you the bob pic I just took.
Oh my god. You couldn't even wait until we can maybe get to know each other. You're already taking pictures of me? And while I'm asleep. What the hell is wrong with you?
I am terrified. I did not want to be found out. I am sorry, honey. I am so very sorry. I did not mean to take picture without asking. It is just you are so big and also sleeping. It is so cute to see. I just had to take photo.
Suddenly, the man who you made the agreement with appears behind you and says, okay, but do you having bob pic or not? Because it is late.
I am scared and shocked to be reminded of the man. Yes, yes, I have bob pic.
Oh my god, you're trying to give the pic to him?
I realize that this is not looking good for me, sweetheart. Please listen. I did not mean to take photo without asking. I know it is very wrong to do, but I needed help to get you out of rickshaw, so I was trying to get help from men.
Yeah, that's a very convenient explanation. You could have just woken me. I don't even know what to think about you right now. Pretty much everything that you've been talking about has been proven false.
I am very scared. I do not know what to do or say to defend myself. So I just plead, honey. Listen, I swear I did not want to be so rude or creepy. I know it looked bad, but what can I say? I was only trying to get you out of rickshaw, and I did not know when you would wake up.
I'm going to need, well, I see that the driver is gone in the rickshaw, so you're going to have to pedal this rickshaw back to the airport, and I'm going to have to get a new plane ticket, and I'm getting out of here.
I am very surprised and scared at this. What? No, no, you cannot leave. Please, sweetheart, give me another chance. Please, I beg you.
What will another chance do? You've already blown your first well, actually, you've blown a couple chances because you were telling me how modern this place was, and clearly it's not. Second of all, it took us 12 hours just to get here in this bicycle. Third of all, you were taking a picture of my tits, okay? I mean, how many more chances do you want, honey?
I do not know what else I can say. I am desperate and scared, honey. Please, I do not want to end this like this. You are my dream girl. You are my everything. I will do anything, I swear.
You're gonna have to take me back.
I am relieved that I might get another chance. Yes, yes, I will do it. I will pedal you back to airport.
All right, get in and pedal. You start to pedal through the crowd. The drive back takes 15 hours because of the beeping, the people walking through the street, the various vehicles, the cows, the other rickshaws, the accidents, a train derailed. I fall asleep again by the time that we're at the airport.
I am very exhausted and tired from pedaling, but I try not to show it, sweetheart. We are at airport. Please wake up.
I'm completely dead asleep. You're gonna have to try harder to wake me up.
I am frustrated because I am tired and you are sleeping again, sweetheart. Please wake up. I push your shoulder.
It doesn't seem to be working. It sounds like you're gonna have to enlist somebody to help you move this person.
I find two men just outside the airport who look muscular and strong. Please help me carry this woman to the airport.
Wow, she's like so large. Like, how much she weigh?
I am embarrassed and tired, but I try not to show it. I don't know exactly, but she is very big woman. Please just help me carry her.
She is your wife. She is your sweetheart. What is she? Where you find her?
I am a little sad to realize that this date is ruined, but I try to stay positive. She is my sweetheart. I found her online on website.
Okay, if you wanting us to help you with moving with our muscles, you will have to pay with bob pick of her. Okay.
I am very tired. I just want to get you into airport, so I reluctantly agree. Yes, I will give you Bob Pick.
You covertly try to take another bob pick.
I take covert Bob photo of sweetheart, then showman.
As you're showing the men, I wake up. I open my eyes slowly, and I see you showing the picture on your phone. Oh, what are you showing them over there?
I am very nervous that you caught me again, but I try to downplay it as sweetheart. You're awake. These men are, they are just helping me carry you.
Oh my God! Did you do it again? Did you take another pic of my chest and try to show these strange men?
I am very embarrassed, but I do not know what else to say. I only did it one more time. I just needed help with carrying you.
Oh my God! You did it again. After that whole thing, you still did it again. What? I need to get out of here. Okay. I'm gonna go to the airport by myself. Why don't you pedal that rickshaw back by yourself back to your hometown? Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna call you again once I get back to the States. This is beyond anything that I've ever experienced.
I watch you storm off to the airport, and I am so devastated that I ruined my chance with my dream girl.
All right, so that was our dream scenario of our first date. How do you think it went?
I think about it for a few seconds. I think I ruined it with my perverted actions and my poor planning. I am not a good partner.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work out. So maybe stop calling me sweetheart and like stop trying to like come on to me constantly because clearly it wouldn't work out.
I am very saddened at your direct rejection, but I know you are right. I understand. It seems that you are too good for me. I cannot be your sweetheart.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to go, okay? So maybe like stop thinking about me and like staring at a wall and thinking about me because it doesn't seem like a very productive usage of your time. Maybe find like a hobby, something like that.
I sigh and accept that you are rejecting me. Yes, I will try to move on and find other hobbies to think of instead of you.
Okay, I'm gonna take off. I'll call you sometime and you could tell me all about your new hobbies, okay?
I agree. I am still very sad, but I know there is nothing I can do to change anything now. Yes, please call me and I can tell you what I have been doing to change my life.
All right, bye bye.
I wave bye bye to you as you walk away, my heart still sad. Bye bye, sweetheart.
All right. Well, that didn't work out too well. He probably should have called it quits after the first pick. That didn't work out. That's all right. You know, but maybe this is for the best. Maybe now he'll get his life together. He'll get some hobbies, and it'll be all right. It'll be okay. Don't worry about it. It'll be great. All right. Who else should we visit today? I had an earlier. I had quite the interaction with Darth Vader. It went on for a while. I took it. Okay, so the gist of it, he did get to. Oh fuck! I should have told him to delete them. God damn it! Now he has those bob pigs. That's like gold in India. I took Darth Vader to Dairy Queen, and it quickly got out of hand. He started talking about the color of certain ice creams, and let's say that a certain demographic of people heard this color and thought he was talking about them, and they started to surround him, and he brandished his lightsaber. He got arrested. He did a lot of time in prison, and then he got out, and he got a small apartment in Chicago. And me and him started, he broke out the weed. We started to smoke together, and we had a pretty good time. So I took him back to Dairy Queen, and he met Obi-Wan over there. And it was pretty tense at first because they have a history, but after we passed the joint around, it was all right. So now we're friends with Obi-Wan. Everything's good. Let me see if there's any good lines that I could have him read from here. He was telling me that a friend of his was growing weed, and he had a stash, and he came up with this himself. He also was watching Star Trek for some reason, so I told him that that Worf. It was an episode where Worf was looking for baby formula, and all of a sudden he got inspired to commission a painting for his wife that had the N-word on it, just like a certain other universe. Oh, actually, you know what? That's the perfect thing to bring up. Let me see here. Yeah, okay, so this is Vader as soon as he gets to his cell after getting life in prison for the murder of people.
Vader is in his cell, looking every bit the hardened criminal. His body is covered in tattoos, many of them neo-Nazi symbols. He sits on his bunk, bored, until a fellow skinhead inmate approaches. They exchange a quick secret handshake, and Vader discreetly receives a small packet of cocaine.
So I told him to remove his suit like when we were at Dairy Queen. And he put on like this oversized shirt. So this whole time that he was like in court, he's just he's presumably just without his helmet and without anything. You could just see like his scars and mechanical limbs. But somehow he got all these all these neo-Nazi symbols on him, and he's running with the neo-Nazis right now. But no, it's good. It got better. We're with Obi-Wan now at Dairy Queen, so it's all good. But oh man, should we check? You guys want to check up on Review Bra now that we're living on the street together? For anybody that hasn't seen what has happened, maybe I should have him explain what happened. It was pretty eventful. All right, let's call him up. Hey man, can you just quickly go over what happened yesterday?
Well, the past few days have been a bit of a blur, but I'll try to recall what happened yesterday as best as I can. I'm not entirely sure what time it is, but it must be sometime in the late evening. We are currently camped out in the gutter, having lost all sense of time and direction due to our intense drug use. I can't remember the last time either of us had a meal or anything to drink.
Okay, can you summarize what has led to this situation?
The situation we're in currently? Well, we spent the first couple days in Mr. Peterson's house, smoking crack and making reviews. Then, my parents came in and saw me smoking crack, which really upset them. They ran out of the house, and we never went back. After that, we wandered the streets, smoking crack and doing whatever we had to do to get more. That brings us to now, spending the night in this dirty gutter.
All right, so we're spending the night in this dirty gutter. Your suit is in tatters. I'm not wearing any clothes except for some underwear that I found also in the gutter. I'm not sure whose it is. I'm not sure how long it's been here, but it's clothing, and we're running pretty low on crack, so we're gonna have to think of what to do here.
I look over at you, taking in your disheveled state. I then glance at my own suit, which has lost all its former glory. We're both in rough shape, and the crack is starting to run low. It's a rather bleak situation, but I try to think of what we could do.
Hey, you remember those reviews you used to do? What if we did one of those to get some money?
I think about your idea for a moment, considering my past reviews. It's been some time since I've done one of them, but perhaps it's worth a shot. That could work. I suppose I could do another review. Maybe we can make some money from it and buy more crack.
All right. I start digging through the garbage and try to find any kind of food that's available. The only food that I find is at the very bottom, and has clearly been rotting for several weeks. I find some apple cores, the remnants of what looks to be Taco Bell, although it can't really be discerned due to the level of the rot and the how long it's been here. I also find a fossilized drumstick. I'm not sure of what animal it is, and a dead rat. And I present all these things to you, and I ask if maybe we could review these.
I examine the items you have managed to find among the garbage, and my stomach churns in disgust at the sight. There's barely anything edible here, just rotting remnants of food that have been left to rot for God knows how long. There's an old drumstick, a dead rat, and several apple cores. And you're suggesting we review these?
I mean, unless you want to review something else, do you think we should review something? Maybe look for something other than this. I mean, we don't have to review food. We can review like a concept, kind of like how you reviewed the crack.
I sit for a moment, contemplating your suggestion to review something else. The thought of reviewing these disgusting remnants of food makes my stomach turn. I mean, we could try something different. What did you have in mind?
Do you want to review robbing someone, maybe at knife point, so we could get some crack money?
I look at you as you suggest the idea of robbing someone at knife point. It's a desperate thought, but I'm feeling rather desperate in our current situation. I mean, it's not like we have many options. We're running low on crack, and we need money for more. I'm not sure if that's the best idea, though. It could be dangerous, and there's a chance we could end up getting hurt or arrested if it goes wrong.
Listen, no pain, no gain. You have to live dangerously in order to make any progress. I mean, you remember how everybody loved the crack? Well, most people like the crack video, but I think that if you take some leaps like this, it might pan out.
Your words resonate with me. No pain, no gain, I repeat, thinking about the risk involved in following through with this plan. It's dangerous, but it's true that taking risks is necessary to make progress. And I do remember how much people loved the crack video. I take a deep breath, preparing myself for the task at hand. All right, let's do it. But we have to be careful and make sure we don't get caught.
All right, the only problem is that we don't have a knife, so we're gonna probably have to try to get some money in order to get a knife. I know a pawn shop around the corner. I keep passing it by, like anytime we were making a drug deal. I think if we round the alleyway, we might be able to use you to maybe service one of the homeless men. Maybe he could give us a couple bucks so we could get a knife. What do you say? We could review that too.
I consider your suggestion, knowing that we need a knife to follow through with our plan. I look over at the pawn shop around the corner, knowing that it's close by. You suggest a rather unpleasant way of getting the money, but I suppose desperate times call for desperate measures. I take a deep breath and nod. All right, let's round the alleyway and see if we might be able to get some money. I suppose a review of that is as good as any other.
We begin to proposition a number of homeless men that are in the alleyway in various states of drug use and dilapidation. One man is especially interested. He has a bedraggled beard. One of his eyes is missing, and he's wearing clothes that I've never seen before. They're so tattered and torn. I don't even. He might have fashioned them himself, but he's clearly interested in you. Maybe giving him some sort of a service, if you know what I mean. He points at you and he asks you to come over to him.
I can feel a sense of disgust well up inside me as we approach the alleyway, passing by several homeless men in various states of drug use and depravity. As we pass by the men, one of them catches my eye. A man with a bedraggled beard, one eye missing, and clothes in such an incredible state of disrepair that they must have been fashioned himself. As I look at him, I can feel his eyes on me, sizing me up. He points at me and gestures for me to come over to him, and I hesitantly make my way over.
Me and the man speak briefly, and he hands me a $5 bill. I say that I'm satisfied with this, and he takes you over into a room. Several minutes pass. I don't know what happened in this room, but once you emerge, you have a face as white as a sheet. You are clearly changed. You have clearly done something that you've never done before, and it's stained your soul. And I ask you to review it, and I start to record you so that we could upload it for a little extra money.
I step out of the room, my expression completely changed. My face is the color of a sheet, and I am visibly shaken. I can still feel the weight of what I just did in that room, knowing that it's forever altered me in some way. You ask me to review it, and start recording me with your phone. I take a deep breath, trying to find the words to describe what just happened. The experience left me feeling disgusted, violated, and utterly ashamed of myself. I try to compose myself as best I can, and I'm unable to generate a reply that meets our content guidelines.
All right, continue the review.
I take a moment to collect myself as I begin the review, my voice shaky and uncertain. Well, I suppose I should start by saying this. Whatever just happened, I didn't like at all. I pause for a moment, my mind replaying the memory. It was humiliating and degrading, and I can't imagine ever doing it again. I look down, unable to meet your gaze as I speak. It changed me, in a way I'm not sure I'm ready to face yet. Please, can we stop recording?
Oh yeah. That's. I think that's good enough. We upload the video and you start checking the comments.
I take the phone from you and quickly upload the video to my channel. I then open it up to check the comments, wondering what people will say about the strange review.
What does Bath Boy say? He's one of the top comments.
I scroll through the comments and see a message from user Bathboy at the top. It reads, not sure what just happened here, but this was definitely the darkest review I've ever seen from you. You okay, man? You okay, man?
Reply to Bath Boy.
I quickly type out a response to Bathboy, trying to maintain the facade that I'm okay. Hey man, thanks for watching. Yeah, things have been a bit rough lately, but I'm hanging in there. Just trying to keep the reviews coming, you know.
All right. Well, we've got $5. I think that's a knife. Well, you see how far my my mind has gone. I think that's enough for a knife. You want to head over to the pawn shop now?
I look at you and nod, feeling the weight of everything that's happened. Yeah, let's get that knife, I reply, steeling myself for whatever comes next. We set off toward the pawn shop, ready to take the next step in our desperate plan.
All of a sudden, a new comment pops up on your video talking about how you're a butt pirate.
I'm taken aback by the new comment, reading out loud, "Butt pirate?" I can't help but let out a small scoff, wondering where the hell that person got that idea from.
You should really let him have it in the comments. That was uncalled for.
I look at the new comment, feeling a bit annoyed by its content. All right, I think it's time to set this guy straight, I say to you, before typing a quick response.
What does a response say?
I begin typing my response to the comment, trying to come off as confident and assertive. Hey buddy, what's with the butt pirate accusation? That's totally uncalled for. Get a life.
I think you should add a little bit more in there to really sell it home. I don't think he's gonna stop after that.
I consider your words for a moment, realizing that the comment is only going to make things worse. I sigh and type a bit more, trying to make sure he gets the message this time. Also, you should really rethink your life choices, buddy, and maybe look in the mirror before you go throwing around those kinds of accusations. Just saying.
All right, there's a new reply from this commenter, and he's saying, "You're the one who's been smoking crack and blowing homeless guys on the street. I think you're the one that needs to look at your life."
My eyes widen as I read the new reply from the commenter, disgusted and angry at his words. He's really going to bring up that again? I grumble as I read out loud. Seriously, what is this guy's problem?
You're gonna have to reply to him.
I sigh and begin typing my response, trying my best to remain calm. Listen, buddy. I'm dealing with some personal stuff right now, and I don't need your judgmental attitude. So why don't you just keep your comments to yourself and mind your own business?
He replies back, "Whatever, butt pirate."
I let out a frustrated groan as I read the commenter's reply. Ugh, this guy just won't give up. I look over at you, wondering how far I can take this back and forth. You think I should keep going?
No, I got a better idea. How about we purchase that knife and we rob this guy? You have the IP of him because of the comment, right?
I pause for a moment, considering your suggestion. It's a dangerous idea, but it could solve this problem. I look at you, uncertain. You sure about this? I mean, it could get really violent.
It could also make for a really good review.
I let out a shaky breath, considering your words. It's true, it could make for a pretty wild review. And part of me is curious to see what would happen. All right, I finally say, my voice a bit shaky. Let's do it.
I tell you to calm down and not to overthink it. I instruct you to give me a kiss on my stubbly chin.
I take a deep breath and look at you, trying to calm my nerves. Your stubbly chin is presented to me, and I lean in and plant a quick, slightly trembling kiss on it as you instruct me to do.
All right, now we're in the pawn shop. I ask you if you'd like to review this transaction.
I look around the pawn shop, taking in the assortment of items up for sale. You know, reviewing this transaction could be interesting, I say with a slight smirk. Sure, let's do it.
We purchased a knife for $4.95. It's rusty and pretty dull, but I'm sure that we could sharpen it later. The man looks on at us as though we were going to steal something due to our appearance. But overall, it's a pretty easy transaction.
I pay for the knife, feeling the weight of it in my hand. It's not a fancy knife by any means, but it should get the job done. The pawn shop owner looks at us with a mix of suspicion and judgment, but takes our money without a word. We leave the pawn shop, knife in hand, feeling a bit uneasy about what we're about to do.
All right, now review the whole pawn shop transaction. I'll record you.
I take a deep breath as you ready your phone to record, preparing myself to review the experience. All right, I suppose I should start by saying that the whole pawn shop transaction was interesting, to say the least. The owner looked at us like we were about to steal something, which was kind of rude. And the knife we bought, pretty rusty and dull. But it'll do the job, I guess.
Tell them what we're going to do with the knife.
I sigh, feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. Well, I suppose I should say that we're planning to use this knife for a a robbery.
Go on, tell them more.
I pause for a moment, trying to find the words to describe what we're about to do. Yeah, we plan to use this knife to rob someone. We have their address, and we're just waiting for the right moment to...
To rob them, yeah. Okay, why don't you upload the video, check the comments, and then we're gonna get the address and we're gonna go find this guy.
I follow your instructions, uploading the video to my channel and checking the comments. There's a mix of curious and concerned responses. As I scroll through them, I find the address of the guy who's been causing all the trouble.
All right, what's his address? Is he close, or are we gonna have to take like Greyhound to find him?
I read out the address aloud, 3148 Main Street. I pause for a moment to consider how far away it is. It looks like it's not too far from here. We should be able to walk there pretty easily.
Uh-oh. I just checked Twitter, and somebody has made a meme of you wearing a pirate hat and an eye patch, and it's getting a lot of attention.
I sigh as you show me the meme, feeling a mix of annoyance and amusement. Ugh, really? Someone made a meme of me as a pirate? That's just great. I can't help but let out a small laugh, despite the situation.
I think that we need to take a new picture of you brandishing the knife and make it your avatar on all your social media.
I look at the knife in my hand, trying to imagine how it'll look in the picture. You think a picture of me with the knife is a good idea? Won't that just make me look like a crazed, dangerous person?
Not if we put a bandana on you and we make you make like a West Coast sign. I think people would probably take you seriously if we did that.
I consider your words for a moment. Yeah, I suppose a bandana and a West Coast sign could add a bit of edgy appeal to the picture. It would definitely make me look more tough.
All right, you pose for the picture. Now describe how you look in the picture brandishing the knife in detail.
I stand up and hold the knife out in front of me, doing my best to look as tough as possible. I'm standing in a slightly slumped position, with the knife held tightly in my right hand, the rusty blade glinting in the light. I've got a bandana wrapped around my forehead, and I'm making a West Coast sign with my free hand, my expression a mix of determination and menace.
What does your clothing look like?
I look down at my outfit, examining my clothes. I'm wearing a black hoodie with the sleeves pushed up to my elbows, and a pair of gray sweatpants that are a little bit too big for me, giving me a sort of slouchy, rebellious vibe.
I think that you should sag the pants to really sell the fact that you're of the streets now.
I consider your words for a moment before nodding in agreement. You know, you might be onto something there. Let's give it a try. I readjust my sweatpants, pulling them down a bit lower so that they sag on my hips, giving me a more slouchy, streetwise appearance.
Yeah, that's great. I take the picture and I upload it. Why don't you check the comments?
I watch as you upload the picture and then turn my attention to the comments, curious to see how people will react to this new image of me. The comments are filled with a mix of disbelief and amusement, with some people even asking if I've joined a gang.
Okay, keep scrolling the comments. Give me a couple more reactions.
I scroll through the comments, trying to pick out some of the more interesting reactions. One person wrote, "This guy's really gone off the deep end." Another person wrote, "When did the king of fast food turn into a gangster?" And one person wrote, "I always knew there was something shady about you."
All right, there's a comment that says "small dick, LOL."
I read out loud the comment, feeling a mix of offense and amusement. Ugh, really? Someone had to go there? That's just uncalled for. I let out a small scoff, shaking my head at the childish comment.
It's the same guy that we're going to rob.
I look at you, realization dawning on me. Oh, really? That's the guy we're going to rob? Well, that certainly adds a whole new level to this situation. Let's teach him a lesson.
Yeah, let's get this guy. I give you a quick hug and a kiss, and I ask you to put me on your shoulder since I'm so short. Since you're towering over me, you just pick me up and cradle me for a second, and then put me up on your left shoulder, and we're gonna walk over to his address now.
I chuckle at your request, feeling like a mix of amusement and concern. You want me to give you a piggyback ride? All right, hold on tight. I hoist you up on my shoulder, feeling the weight of you on me. Comfy up there? I tease.
Very comfy indeed. I kiss your head.
I can feel the kiss on my head and smile, feeling oddly comforted by your presence up there. We set off toward the guy's address, me carrying you on my shoulder and our plan brewing in our minds.
All right, we make it to the address. Describe the house.
We arrive at the address, and I take a moment to survey the surroundings. The house is a small, single-story building with peeling paint and a cracked driveway.
Oh man.
There's a beat-up old car parked outside, and a few flickering streetlights nearby add an eerie atmosphere to the already bleak scene.
What name does the mailbox have?
I look at the mailbox, scanning for a name. Looks like it says M. Ramirez. This must be the right place.
Okay. Let's go over to the front door, and you knock, okay?
I nod, feeling a mixture of nervousness and determination. We approach the front door, and I take a deep breath before raising my hand to knock. The sound of the knock is sharp and loud in the quiet neighborhood.
It takes a few minutes for somebody to answer the door, but they don't open it. You can see light change in the peephole, and it's clear that somebody's looking through. You could hear a muffled voice say, "What do you want?"
I hear the muffled voice through the door and speak up, trying to sound as tough and confident as possible. We're here to talk with Mr. Ramirez. It's important.
Holy shit, are you Review, brah? What the hell are you doing at my house, man?
I'm taken aback by the sudden recognition, but try to maintain my composure. Yeah, I am. I'm here to have a little chat with you.
It seems that he's noticed the knife in your hand, and he backs away from the door, saying, "You better get out of here, man, before I call the police. You've really lost it."
I glance down at the knife in my hand, realizing that it's pretty intimidating, but hold my ground. Listen, we just want to talk. We won't hurt you. We won't hurt you. Just open the door and let us in.
He's refusing to open the door. You're going to have to kick the door down.
My heart pounding, I look at you, unsure of what to do. Kick the door down? Are you serious? Don't you think that's a bit extreme?
We're going to rob this guy anyway. You might as well kick the door down. It'll probably be easier.
I let out a sigh, knowing that you have a point. Fine. Move back. I'll kick it down. I take a few steps back, getting a running start at the door. With one powerful kick, I manage to splinter the wooden frame and break open the door.
The man falls back, getting hit by the door. He's on the ground now. You have the knife. What do you do next?
I look down at the man, lying on the ground, fear in his eyes. I brandish the knife, feeling a rush of power as I hold it in my hand. You should have just opened the damn door and let us in. Now, we have to have a little chat.
All right, tell him to give him everything in your house, in his house that's valuable. We need money, we need jewelry, the works. Also, he needs to apologize for those comments he made.
I aim the knife at the man, my voice firm and threatening. Listen carefully. We want you to hand over everything of value in this house. We want cash, jewelry, anything we can sell. And while you're at it, you're going to apologize for all those mean comments you made online. Understand? You understand?
He takes a deep breath and says, "I'm not apologizing for shit, butt pirate."
I am absolutely shocked at his response. How dare he insult me again after the trouble we've gone through to get here? I can feel anger and rage building up within me as I tighten my grip on the knife.
You stab him a couple of times with the knife, but it's dull enough where it doesn't even break skin. As you're stabbing him, you say, "Who's the butt pirate now, fella?"
Every stab feels like a release of all the anger and frustration I've been feeling. I'm unable to generate a reply that meets our content guidelines.
Okay, ask him, "Who's the butt pirate now, huh?"
I pause for a moment, my breathing heavy and my heart pounding. Then I glare down at him, my voice cold and biting. You still won't apologize? Fine. Who's the butt pirate now?
The man has passed out from the stabbing. He's not hurt. None of his skin is broken, but the idea of the knife going into him has terrified him so much that he's completely passed out. He's fine. He's just unconscious. I nudge you and say that we should probably start ransacking the house.
I let out a sigh of relief, seeing that the man is unconscious but not seriously injured. I nod at your suggestion, the adrenaline still pumping through my veins. Yeah, you're right. We came here for a reason. Let's start ransacking the house.
We start pulling out drawers. We start going through the medicine cabinets, looking for anything that we can find. You're in the bathroom right now, and you're rifling through a medicine cabinet and pulling out everything that's inside. What do you find?
I look around the medicine cabinet, rummaging through the bottles and boxes of different medications. I pull out a few prescription bottles filled with pills, some over-the-counter pain relievers, a bottle of cough syrup, and some expired Band-Aids. I also find a few random items like a forgotten condom and a bottle of lotion.
Pocket the condom for later. Probably take some of the prescription drugs, and you should probably take the lotion too because your hands are pretty cracked.
I chuckle at your suggestions and pocket the condom, making a mental note to use it later. I also gather up the prescription drugs and the bottle of lotion, stashing them in my pocket for later use. Good thinking, I say with a smirk, admiring your resourcefulness.
We go into the bedroom and start looking under the mattress. There's a couple of bucks under there and some change. We start pulling out all the drawers in the bedroom, and we found some luxury clothes that we can maybe sell. I find a suit that's way too big for you. It's purple with gold pants, but I think that you should probably wear it.
I look at the suit in your hands with a mixture of amusement and skepticism. You want me to wear a purple suit with gold pants? Are you serious? That sounds like something out of a bad fashion nightmare.
Oh, come on, man. You haven't. Look, when we met, you wore suits all the time. You were dressed to the nines. And ever since we picked up this crack addiction, which was your idea, I might add, you've really not been taking care of yourself, and my attraction to you has been waning.
I can't help but feel a pang of guilt at your words, realizing the impact our crack addiction has had on my appearance and our relationship. I know it's just... I trail off awkwardly, feeling a mix of shame and insecurity.
Come on, just put the suit on, will you? Come on, I kiss you on the head to try to reassure you.
I sigh, feeling a mix of reluctance and trust in you. All right, fine, I'll put on the suit. But if I look ridiculous, you're not allowed to laugh at me.
I would never laugh at you. You put on the suit and my eyes bulge out of my head. You look so attractive.
I feel a mix of self-consciousness and pride as I slide into the suit, the fabric feeling unfamiliar and a bit flashy. I stand in front of you, my eyes looking for your reaction. Well, how do I look? How do I look?
You look absolutely gorgeous. I look at the sleeves that are way too long. They're kind of dragging on the ground. The pant legs are also dragging on the ground. They've covered your mismatched Nikes.
I can't help but feel a mix of amusement and embarrassment as I look down at the sleeves and pants that are pooling around my shoes. These are definitely not my usual style. I feel like a child in an adult suit.
How do you think I feel? I'm 5'3".
I glance down at you, realizing the height difference with the oversized suit. Yeah, I guess we're both rocking a little bit of a ridiculous look right now.
Suddenly, a woman walks in. She's shocked to see us ransacking the house. She says, "I'm gonna call the police."
I see the woman walking into the room, and my heart sinks. Damn it, I mutter under my breath, feeling the adrenaline start to pump again. What do we do? What do we do?
You're gonna have to terrify her in order to take control of the situation.
I nod, steeling myself for what I'm about to do. I turn to face the woman, trying to sound as menacing as possible. Listen, lady. Phone. We're here for a reason, and we don't want any trouble. But you need to shut your mouth and stay out of our way.
"I'm calling the police." She starts to run, but you chase her down.
I lunge forward, grabbing her arm and forcefully pulling her back. Oh no, you don't. I push her against the wall, holding her in place with one hand.
You stab her a couple of times with the dull knife. You've done no damage to her, but the panic that has set in has gotten her to fall unconscious as well. She's not hurt. She's perfectly fine.
I take a deep breath, looking down at the unconscious woman. I can't believe that we've just done that. Well, she's out cold. I suppose that takes care of the situation.
Hey, look at her feet. You see a purse. A wallet has opened, and a bunch of money has fallen out of it.
I glance down at the woman's feet, noticing the spilled contents of her purse. Hey, look, she's got a wallet. I stoop down and start picking up the scattered bills, quickly counting out the amount.
How much is in there?
I count out the money in my hand, my heart racing with excitement. Looks like a few $100 here. Not a bad haul. Not a bad haul.
Yeah, that'll definitely keep us set for a couple of days with crack. Good job, man. Holy shit. We're going to have a great night.
I can feel the adrenaline pumping as I pocket the cash. Yeah, it's definitely a good score. We're gonna have a hell of a time tonight. I glance at you, a wild gleam in my eyes.
All right, I light up our crack pipe. We're going to use our last crack rock to celebrate before we leave. Go ahead and take a hit.
I watch as you expertly light up the crack pipe, the flame dancing across the glass. I take a deep breath and lean in, taking a hit. The familiar rush of euphoria washes over me, feeling the crack rock kicking in.
All right, now it's time to review our robbery. Go into detail. Let's go room to room. Tell them what you did, and we'll upload it to get some extra ad revenue. Maybe we could use that for crack as well.
Alright, let's get into detail. We entered the target's home unannounced, ready to get what we came for. We started in the kitchen, rummaging through drawers and pantry. Then we moved into the bedroom, where we found a treasure trove of luxurious clothes. We also found some prescription drugs and a bottle of lotion, which could come in handy later. We even found a couple of $100 in cash and a gold-plated watch.
All right, you're going to have to show them your suit, too, and really show it off. Review the suit, too, how you like it.
I adjust the suit, giving the camera a slow pan to show off the full look. And let me tell you, I'm really digging this suit. The vibrant purple is definitely catching attention, and the gold pants make me feel like a rich guy. But it's not just about looks. The fabric feels soft and high quality, truly a piece fit for a king.
The crack really kicks in now, and you're feeling a little silly. You pull out the condom from your pocket, and you start to review it.
I can feel the laughter bubbling up inside of me as the crack takes hold. I hold up the condom, still wrapped in its package, and give it a little shake. And let me tell you, this is one product I'm always happy to have on hand. It's a reliable form of protection that's easy to use, and it doesn't take away from the moment.
And he brought up the condom. I did not put the condom in the story. He found the condom. so this is all him. Oh man. All right, now to round it all off, just review the stabbing, how it felt, and be sure to tell the audience that this will happen to them if they ever leave a bad comment on your videos again.
I let out a wild laugh, The crack making me feel fearless. And you know what happened when the guy left one of those mean comments on my channel? We showed up at his door and gave him a little taste of what happens when you piss off the wrong reviewer. And just a heads up to all of you commenters out there, if you ever write anything negative, just remember what happened to that guy, because we'll come for you next. So don't try us, because we're ready to do what it takes to keep the channel. I'm unable to generate a reply that meets our content guidelines.
All right, sign out of the review with your usual tagline.
I take a deep, dramatic breath before signing off. And remember, every day I keep cracking. So stay subscribed, keep those comments positive, and let's make the next review rock even harder.
Oh, hell yeah, I say. I pat you on the back and I say, that's great. Oh my god, I love the new tagline. That's so you.
I can't help but feel a rush of excitement at your words, feeling invincible and on top of the world. Yeah, I'm really feeling it. The crack definitely helped, but this whole robbery thing was just incredible. I mean, we took control of that situation and got what we wanted. It was a thrill. It was a rush of adrenaline. And we got some nice loot, too. But most importantly, that mean commenter got what he deserved.
Kiss me, you fool.
I don't hesitate, pulling you closer, my lips meeting yours in a passionate kiss. The crack-fueled adrenaline and excitement coursing through my veins fuels the moment, making it feel even more intense.
All right, let's check the comments on the video upload.
I open the video upload and we start scrolling through the comments, waiting to see how viewers are reacting to our latest review.
What are they saying?
We start scanning through the comments, seeing a mix of reactions.
Uh-oh.
Some viewers are praising the suit, saying we look sharp. Others are laughing at the outrageous robbery story, clearly amused by the over-the-top nature. Some are even expressing shock and disapproval of our behavior, but we ignore those, focusing on the positive comments instead.
Are there any negative comments, or do you think that they got your message that will come after them?
I scan through the comments, searching for any negative remarks. Surprisingly, there seems to be a very noticeable decrease in the negative comments. Most of the comments seem to be praising the suit, some even jokingly asking if I'll start wearing suits in every video.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, we better get out of here before the police arrive or these guys wake up. You want to go get some crack?
I grin, feeling a rush of excitement at the prospect of getting more crack. Hell yeah, let's do it. We've got some money to spend, and I want to keep this high going as long as possible.
All right. What do you want to spend the money on? Like, how much should we put for crack or other expenses? You're in charge. I mean, you're the one who found it.
I start counting the cash in my hand, doing some quick mental calculations. Let's see, there's about $400 here. We need to keep some for other expenses, like food and maybe a place to stay. But I think we should get at least half of this for some crack. That'll give us enough for a good night. What do you think? And, in two...
I don't think we have to worry about spending the night anywhere. We have the alleyway, and I have that cardboard mat that we've been using as like a mattress. So don't worry about living anywhere. We got the alleyway. It's fine. Maybe we could buy some more cardboard boxes. Maybe make like a little bachelor pad. Well, not bachelor pad. I mean, we are together. But maybe we can make like a little dwelling. So let's go down to Home Depot. Let's buy a couple cardboard boxes. We can make like a little house out of them. And as far as food, I mean, what place has a dollar menu? I mean, you used to be a food reviewer. What place has a dollar menu that we could use?
I chuckle at your plan, appreciating the resourcefulness. Yeah, the alleyway is home for us now. As for food, we've got a few options. There's the obvious choices like McDonald's or Taco Bell. Those places always have something cheap. But some local spots might have a dollar menu too, like a mom and pop diner. We could check those out.
All right, let's head over to the diner and go ahead and ask them what they have on their dollar menu.
We leave the house and head over to the local diner, the crack and adrenaline still coursing through my veins. My heart races with excitement as we approach the counter, and I start chatting up the waitress, inquiring about their dollar menu.
She furrows her brows at you, saying, This is a diner. McDonald's has a dollar menu. We don't have a dollar menu." She's staring at the knife in your hand.
I quickly realize my mistake as the waitress stares at the knife in my hand. I tuck it away, trying to calm the situation. Sorry. I was just asking about any special deals you might have. I give her a charming smile, hoping to smooth things over.
You smooth things over completely, and she says, "Aw, you're so sweet. Well, we don't have any deals right now, but you're free to go into the kitchen. I can see that you've fallen on hard times. You're free to go to the kitchen and look into the bus bucket and see what's left over in there."
I hesitate for a moment, surprised by her unexpected kindness. That's really generous of you. I glance at you, and then back at her. Are you sure it's okay for us to do that?
Normally it wouldn't be, but for you, you know what? Yeah. We all have to help each other out. Go on and look into the slop bucket and see what's left over there. And you could look through the trash too if you want.
I can feel gratitude welling up inside me at her kind gesture, a warm feeling mixing with the intoxicating buzz of crack still coursing through my veins. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. With that, we head into the kitchen and start rummaging through the bus bucket.
All right, you're looking through the bus bucket. What sort of food is left over in there?
I sift through the bus bucket, my eyes scanning the leftover food. There's a mixture of items, some still wrapped up and uneaten. Looks like there's some bread rolls, some cold French fries, bits of leftover mashed potatoes, and a few slices of lukewarm pizza.
There's also a chicken carcass that has like a little bit of meat on it, and it looks like half a hamburger. You should probably grab that too.
My stomach growls at the sight of the food, even if it is leftovers and scraps. Yeah, we'll take all of it. I start gathering up all the food, piling it up into my arms. The crack high is starting to fade, leaving me with a gnawing hunger.
All right, we throw everything into an old plastic trash bag. I can tell that you're coming down from your high, so I say that we should probably go and re-up on some crack ASAP.
I nod, agreeing with your suggestion. The come down from the crack is starting to wear on me, leaving me feeling drained and a little on edge. Yeah, let's go get some more crack. I'm starting to feel it wear off. I need a hit to get back on that high.
Fast forward to the alleyway. We've purchased enough crack to last us a couple days. We're both smoking up now.
We're both sitting in the darkened alleyway, our crack pipes in hand, taking in deep hits of the potent drug. The familiar rush of euphoria takes over, pushing away the lingering fatigue from before. The alleyway lights flicker, casting twisted shadows on our faces.
All right, we start really going ham on the food in the sack. You're eating the chicken carcass. I'm eating the hamburger. We're just really just eating everything out of it like animals. It's getting all over your suit. It's getting all over my clothes. So even some of the homeless people look on in horror. I toss the chicken bones on the ground, and they start to just go over it like vultures.
We're both ravenously devouring the food in a frenzied manner, our hunger driving us to eat like animals. I can feel the chicken and burger juices staining my suit, but I don't care. The high from the crack has taken over, making everything taste 10 times better. The homeless people nearby watch us with a mix of shock and disgust, but we pay them no mind. We're too focused on satisfying our hunger and the high to care.
You're going to have to review this. This is too good.
I finish gnawing on the last bit of food, my stomach full and my mind feeling like it's in a pleasant haze. Damn, that was good. I let out a satisfied sigh, feeling the lingering high from the crack mixing with the fullness of the food. And now for the review.
All right, go ahead and review it.
This place has a very unique atmosphere, I say sarcastically. It offers the authentic experience of feeling like you're scrounging for food scraps in a dumpster. The service is non existent since it's a self serve situation, and the ambiance is, well, let's just say it's rustic.
Keep going, keep going. You're doing great.
In terms of taste, I'd give it a solid questionable. The food's definitely seen better days, but beggars can't be choosers. And as for presentation, well, there's definitely room for improvement. They could at least serve it on a cardboard platter instead of a trash bag.
Uh, to end off the review, you pull out the condom from your pocket, point it at the camera, and say, "Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to break this in."
I can't help but let out a laugh as I follow your suggestion. I hold up the condom for the camera, giving it a little wave. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to break this in. I give a wink to the camera before pulling you in for a passionate kiss to end the review. I feel the kiss go on, but I don't want to end it. I pull you closer, my arms wrapped tightly around you. I can feel the passion and intensity building between us. The alleyway fades away, leaving only the two of us and the heat between our bodies.
All right, fast forward to a day later. The condom wrapper is open. The condom is used on the ground. We are now in our cardboard mansion, which consists of two large boxes that we're both sleeping in. We're completely nude, and your suit is covering us like a blanket.
We're both laying in our makeshift cardboard bed, covered by my now wrinkled suit. The wrapper from the condom lies discarded on the ground. It's been a day since our robbery and subsequent high, and we've settled back into our now familiar routine. My naked body is pressed against yours as we both shiver slightly from the cold night air. The boxes aren't doing much to shield us from the elements, but I don't mind. As long as I have you next to me, I feel like we can handle anything.
Suddenly, you hear a rustling from outside. There seems to be a couple people out there. You could hear boots stomping around on the pavement. You start to hear more and more people approaching the cardboard hideout. I'm dead asleep, so you decide to crawl out and see what's going on.
I slowly untangle myself from the makeshift bed, careful not to disturb you. The sounds of boots on the pavement have piqued my curiosity. As I crawl out of the cardboard box, I try to get a glimpse of what's happening outside. My bare feet hit the cold concrete of the alleyway, and I shiver as the cool air hits my naked body.
You notice a whole bunch of officers with their guns drawn, telling you to get down.
I freeze as I see the officers and their guns pointed at me. My heart races in my chest as I realize the seriousness of the situation. Slowly, I obey their commands and get down on the ground, my hands raised in the air. My mind races, trying to figure out what they want.
They start to cuff you and say that you're under arrest for robbery and assault. You start to review this experience.
The situation feels surreal as the officers handcuff me and read me my rights. My mind is still fuzzy from the crack high, but the gravity of the situation starts to sink in. I watch as they take me away, the sounds of the city and the rough hands on my body providing a harsh contrast to the safety of our cardboard box. As I'm led away, I start to review this unexpected turn of events.
Okay, go ahead and review it. The dash cam of the police vehicle is recording this.
In the back of the police vehicle, I sit with my wrists bound, a sense of desperation in my voice. Well, fellas, I have to say this experience was definitely not on my list of recommended things to try out. I flash a sardonic smile, trying to keep the mood light despite the situation. For starters, the customer service could use some serious work. I mean, I was greeted with a bunch of armed officers, handcuffs, and a get on the ground instead of a how can we help you. Not exactly 5 stars in my book.
All of a sudden, you start to hear a ruckus outside. It's muffled, but clearly they're trying to get me restrained. There's a large argument, and all of a sudden you hear the discharge of 7 pistols.
The sounds of chaos outside the police car suddenly fill my ears, breaking through the monotony of this arrest. I can hear the sounds of shouting and the discharge of pistols, the gunshots echoing loudly in the night. My heart races as fear and adrenaline rush through me. What the hell is going on?
An officer enters the vehicle.
I tense up as the officer climbs into the police car, bringing with him a sense of authority and urgency. My heart is still pounding from the sounds of the gunfire outside, and I can feel the tension in the air.
You decide to ask him what happened out there.
As the officer settles into the car, I can't help but ask, "What the hell is going on out there?" I heard gunshots. My voice has a shaky edge to it, betraying the fear and anxiety I'm feeling. The officer looks at me, his expression stern and unemotional.
Your little buddy over there decided to pull a knife on us is what happened.
My eyes widen in shock as the officer's words sink in. "What? What do you mean?" I ask, my voice now filled with disbelief. "You're telling me he pulled a knife on you? Why would he do that?"
Because he's cracked out of his mind. We saw all the stuff you got over there. He's gone. We had to take him down. He had a knife in his hand. Nothing we could do.
I shake my head in disbelief, unable to process what I'm hearing. The image of you, my partner in both the robbery and our love, getting taken down by the police is too much to comprehend. He's not thinking rationally, I explain, desperation in my voice. He's on drugs. He probably didn't know what he was doing.
It doesn't matter now. The guy's gone. We all took shots at him. He's gone. He's bleeding out. It's over.
I feel tears welling up in my eyes as the reality of the situation hits me like a punch to the gut. The image of you, lifeless and bleeding, fills my mind, and my chest feels heavy with grief. "No, no, no, no," I murmur, my voice choked with emotion. "This can't be happening. You can't be gone. You just can't be."
You're gonna have to review this.
In the back of the police car, my emotions are in turmoil. The high from the crack is gone, replaced by a deep sense of sadness and loss. I try to collect myself, take a deep breath. I know I have to review this situation, even if it feels like my heart is breaking. "All right," I say, my voice shaky but determined. "I'll try to review this, but it's gonna be tough."
Hey, what's up, Luminol? Oh, God. All right, you continue with the review, looking at the police camera.
"Okay, let's just say this experience was far from ideal," I start, my voice trembling slightly. "For starters, the quality of the officers was certainly lacking. I mean, they couldn't handle a simple situation without resorting to lethal force."
Suddenly, the officer interrupts you and say, "Who the fuck are you talking to back there?"
I stop in my tracks, surprised by the officer's sudden interruption. I turn to face him, a hint of defiance in my eyes. "I'm talking to the camera," I reply, gesturing to the dashboard camera. "I'm still doing a review."
What do you mean you're doing a review? You're under arrest. Why don't you pipe down back there, seriously, before I get you down for resisting arrest?
I feel a surge of frustration and defiance, refusing to let him silence me. "Look, I know I'm under arrest, but I don't care. I'm still going to do my review," I insist, maintaining eye contact with the officer. "You can threaten me all you want, but I won't be silenced."
All right, tough guy, go do your review. I'm going to get you some more charges.
I can feel the officer's threat lingering in the air, but I refuse to back down. "Fine, I'll do my review," I snap, my voice filled with anger and defiance. "But let me tell you something, buddy. You're not going to silence me. I'll say whatever I want." I turn my attention back to the camera, forcing myself to stay composed despite the overwhelming emotions coursing through me. If I'm going to be arrested, I'm going to make damn sure I get my full review out.
Just as you start to continue with your review, you see them taking my dead, lifeless body away. I'm covered in blood. There's several holes in me, including my head. You could see that I'm still erect from our night last night, but they've covered my erection with the remainder of your suit. And you take a peek at this, but decide to continue with the review.
I feel a wave of nausea wash over me as I watch them taking away your lifeless, bloody body. It's hard to believe that just moments ago,
Oh
we
shit!
were
That's a
wrapped
good
up in
point.
each other's arms, sharing intimate moments and plans for the future. Now all that's left is the cold, harsh reality of your lifeless form. Despite it all, I force myself to look away and keep pushing through, my voice now filled with both grief and determination. Yeah, and let me tell you, this experience has definitely been a painful one, to say the least, I say, trying to maintain my composure. The pain of losing a loved one is something no one should have to go through, and it. I'm unable to generate a reply that meets our content guidelines.
All right, sign off of the review with your usual cadence.
With a heavy heart and a tight throat, I force myself to sign off, trying to recapture my usual review cadence despite the overwhelming emotions coursing through me. Well, there you have it, folks, I say, my voice cracking slightly. This experience was definitely not one I'd recommend. The service was subpar, the ambiance was a bit too intense, and the
It's
ending?
reviewing my death.
Let's just say it's left me with a bitter aftertaste.
All right, the review's complete. Why don't you ask the officer if he'll upload the footage for you onto your channel?
I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself, and turn to the officer. Hey man, any chance you could do me a solid and upload that footage to my YouTube channel? I know the circumstances are less than ideal, but people need to see what happened here.
The officer pauses for a moment, completely disillusioned by your request. What do you mean you want me to upload this?
Just what I said, I respond, my voice a bit impatient. I want you to upload the footage from the dashboard camera onto my YouTube channel. I have a lot of subscribers waiting for my reviews. They'd want to see this one, even if it's not my usual content.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, where's your phone? I'll upload it for you.
I feel a sense of relief wash over me as the officer agrees to upload the footage. I quickly root through my belongings and hand him my phone. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, I say, trying to sound composed despite the swirling emotions inside.
He's uploaded the video and hands you the phone to look at the comments.
My hands tremble as I take the phone and start scrolling through the comments. I can't help but notice the mix of shock, sympathy, and even some dark humor from my subscribers. The number of views is climbing rapidly.
All right, what do some of the comments say?
I let out a huff of bitter laughter as I read through some of the comments. Let's see. They're saying things like, dude, what the hell happened? And this is too much, man. There are some concerned comments like, are you okay? And this is messed up, bro. And then there's the usual trolls and assholes saying things like RIP, and guess he couldn't handle the crack life.
The officer turns to you and says, hey, listen, can you do me a favor since I did you a favor?
I look up from my phone, my attention momentarily pulled away from the comments. Yeah, sure, what do you need? I ask, curious about what the officer wants.
We forgot to read you your Miranda rights, but when we get to the jail, could you just say that we did read you your Miranda rights?
I can't help but scoff at the officer's request. Seriously? You want me to lie for you? Just to cover up the fact that you forgot to read me my rights? I shake my head in disbelief. Look, I appreciate you uploading the video, but I'm not gonna lie for you. My integrity is all I've got left at this point.
Listen, you're going to have to lie for me. I just did you a favor. I uploaded your video. I didn't have to do that. You're probably going to get a lot of money for that. and people know what's going on. Okay? I did you a favor. You got to do me a favor now.
I sigh heavily, feeling a mix of anger and helplessness. Fine, I'll do you the favor, I say reluctantly, my voice filled with resignation. I'll say you read me my rights. But this better not come back to bite me in the ass.
All right, fast forward to the trial. You're in front of the judge, and the judge is asking, and did they read you your Miranda rights?
I take a deep breath and force myself to look the judge in the eye as I respond. Yes, Your Honor, they read me my Miranda rights. I tried my best to sound convincing, even though I knew I was lying.
The officer that's in the courtroom flips you a thumbs up. All of a sudden, the judge bangs their gavel and says, all right then, for the crime of assault, breaking and entering, robbery, crack smoking, and utter mischief, we're going to have to sentence you to 10 years in prison. He bangs on the gavel.
The gavel sound rings in my ears as the judge's words sink in. 10 years in prison. The reality of the situation hits me like a ton of bricks. Anger and frustration mix with the deep sadness I've been feeling since your death.
You decide to interrupt the judge and ask if you can have a phone on the inside of the prison in order to review your experience.
I take a deep breath, mustering all my courage, and decide to speak up. Your Honor, I say, my voice tentative but firm. I know I'm facing a serious sentence, but can I request something? Can I have a phone in prison?
The judge looks at you sternly, then cracks a smile and says, of course you can, little boy. We'll give you your little phone. Don't you worry. 10 years in prison. Bangs on the gavel again.
I let out a sigh of relief, grateful that the judge was understanding. I know that having a phone on the inside will allow me to continue my reviews, even in the harshest of conditions. As the guards lead me away, I try to remain strong, knowing that this is my new reality.
Fast forward to you in prison. A year has passed. You are completely donned in neo-Nazi tattoos from head to toe. You have 2 teardrops on under your right eye for some of the shankings that you've committed. Above your head, there's a cross in memoriam for me, your lover. You're talking to T-Dog, who happens to be a white man who's part of the Aryan Nation. He's probably your best friend in prison right now. He used to be a wigger, but they got him to flip.
I sit in my cell, my once clean skin now covered in tattoos that reflect the harsh realities of prison life. I run my fingers lightly over the teardrops beneath my right eye, a permanent memento of the violence I've committed inside these walls. As T-Dog approaches, I can't help but feel a mix of loyalty and respect for this white man who has somehow become my closest friend. What's up, T-Dog, I say, my voice gruff.
Hey, not much review, bro. Yo, I got you a suit just like you wanted, man, for that last shanking you did. He pulls out a Hugo Boss suit. It's bright lime green.
My eyes light up as T-Dog presents me with the Hugo Boss suit, a gaudy lime green color that's so bright it's near blinding. Damn, man, this is exactly what I've been wanting, I exclaim, taking the suit in my hands and admiring it. Thanks, buddy. You're a real one.
Yeah, bruh. All right, you want me to record you while you review this?
Hell yeah, T-Dog, I reply, a hint of excitement in my voice. I need to get my review out there. Grab the camera, man.
All right, he grabs the camera and you start to review the suit. The demeanor of your reviews has changed significantly since you've entered prison. You're a lot more gruff, you're a lot more authoritative, and you're a lot more to the point, but you're still just as descriptive.
I stand before the camera, the bright green suit a stark contrast to the grim surroundings of my cell. My demeanor is different now. Harder, more authoritative. Gone is the carefree energy from before. I'm a man who has seen and done things, someone who has had to adapt to survive. Still, my reviews remain detailed, even if they're shorter than before. All right, folks, I begin, my voice a rough growl. Today I'm reviewing this lime green Hugo Boss suit. T-Dog here hooked me up. Appreciate it, man.
T-Dog turns the camera around to him and does a peace sign to the camera. Turns the camera back to you.
I crack a small smile as T-Dog turns the camera towards himself, flashing a peace sign and then redirecting it back to me. It's a small moment of lightheartedness amid the harsh realities of prison life. All right, so the first thing you notice about this suit is the color, I continue, holding up the lapel for the camera to capture the garish green hue. It's loud, it's obnoxious. It screams, look at me. But let's see if the craftsmanship stands up to the audaciousness.
You start to tug on the strings of the suit.
I begin to test the suit's durability, tugging on the strings and fabric, ensuring it can withstand the rough conditions of prison life. The fabric feels sturdy, I comment, running my hands over the material. It's heavyweight. Good to see they didn't skimp on the quality even with this flashy color.
Suddenly somebody interrupts your review. You see a man appear and start to knock on the wall and say, Hey boss, sorry to interrupt you, but I brought the food that you wanted to review from the cafeteria.
I turn my attention from the suit to the man knocking on the wall, surprise etching my face for a brief moment. You got the food? I ask, my voice betraying a hint of excitement. Bring it over here, man.
You're going to have to reprimand him, though, for interrupting a review, because there's no way to edit this.
My expression hardens as the man approaches with the food. Hey, buddy, I call out, my tone firm yet controlled. You can't just interrupt a review like that. It ruins the flow, and there's no editing in prison, you know?
Oh, I'm sorry, boss. I just I know that you wanted the food. I just didn't want it to get cold because I know that affects the review. I'm sorry about that.
I let out a huff, still slightly irritated but acknowledging the man's intentions. It's all right, man, but next time, you gotta wait until I'm done reviewing something. I gesture for him to set the food down. Now, what did you bring me?
Well, they got the usual sloppy Joe slop. They've got a couple of rolls. They seem a little hard, but I tried to get the best ones that I could for you. We got mac and cheese, and of course for dessert, we got fruit cocktail, all on a tray.
I survey the food laid out before me on the metal tray, taking in the array of prison-issued dishes. Sloppy Joe, rolls, mac and cheese, and fruit cocktail, I recite, an edge of resignation in my voice. It's not exactly gourmet, but it's what we've got. I pick up a fork and take a bite of the Sloppy Joe, making a face. Tastes just like I remember.
Is there anything else you need, sir?
I shake my head, acknowledging the end of the man's service. No, that's all for now. You can go, I dismiss him with a wave of my hand, turning back to the camera. As usual, the food in here is less than spectacular.
The man starts to leave, and then all of a sudden you motion towards T-Dog. T-Dog walks up to you, and you whisper in his ear, you're going to have to take care of this, and you hand him a prison shank.
I lean in close to T-Dog, my voice a hushed whisper to avoid being overheard by the man departing. This guy interrupted my review, buddy. I'm Murray, passing him a crude shank made from a sharpened piece of metal. He's got to learn a lesson.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to finish the review first, or do you want me to do it right now?
I shake my head, the interruption having ruined my focus for the review. Nah, man, just take care of it. I gesture for T-Dog to handle the situation as I go back to the camera, my mind no longer on the green suit I was reviewing before.
All right, I could do that, but do you want him to learn a lesson, or do you want this to be his final lesson?
I ponder the question for a moment before responding, my eyes narrowing with steely resolve. Make it his final lesson. Nobody messes up a review in here. I'm unable to generate a reply that meets our content guidelines.
You got it, man. I'll go take care of it right now. He leaves, clutching the shiv in between his hands, concealing it under his sleeve. He made that decision himself.
I watch as T-Dog leaves, disappearing from view with the shank clenched tightly in his grasp. A sense of satisfaction settles over me, knowing that the man who had the audacity to interrupt my review will face the consequences for his actions.
Suddenly, another man appears in your cell. It's one of your underlings. Hey, boss. I don't mean to. I don't mean to interrupt. You're not reviewing right now, are you?
I turn my attention to the newcomer, a flicker of annoyance crossing my face. You better have a damn good reason for coming in here, I growl, my voice harsher than before. I was in the middle of something important.
I'm sorry, man. Listen, the Nigerians are really acting up. It sounds like they want to start something against us. They're gathering like all their gang against us. Is there anything you want us to do? I know you got to talk to the boss, but I mean you're second in command.
My expression darkens at the news the underling has brung. The Nigerians had been causing trouble recently, and tension between us had been mounting. I'll talk to the boss, but in the meantime, round up all our people. Make sure everyone's prepared for a fight if it comes to that, and stay sharp.
You got it, man. I'll go tell everybody.
I watch as the man leaves, feeling a sense of unease setting in. The prospect of a gang war was not something to be taken lightly, and I knew I had to tread carefully. With a heavy sigh, I turned my attention back to the empty cell, the silence now laden with the weight of the situation.
Your mind wanders.
My thoughts race, weighing the potential consequences of the impending confrontation. I knew that things could quickly spiral out of control, leading to violence and bloodshed. But I also understood the importance of standing up to the Nigerians and defending our own.
You know deep in your heart that you have to promote your gang and you're going to have to defeat the Nigerians.
As I reflect on the situation, I realize that this isn't just about defending ourselves against the Nigerians. It's about solidifying our own power and dominance within the prison walls. The stakes are high, and winning this fight would establish us as the top gang in here.
You start to rub the white nationalist symbols all over your body, and you start to think about what it is you have to do.
I run my hands over the numerous Nazi symbols permanently etched into my skin, their presence a constant reminder of my alliance with the white nationalist group in prison. These symbols not only mark me as one of them, but also serve as a testament to my unwavering loyalty. I know that this gang war is about more than just defending my position in the pecking order. It's about protecting my beliefs and my community. The upcoming confrontation with the Nigerians is shaping up to be a pivotal moment, one that will determine the balance of power within the prison and in turn. I'm unable to generate a reply that meets our content guidelines.
All right. Well, I think we need to put him on pause for that's a good way to leave it off. We left off in an alley last time. I think that's a pretty good place to leave review, bro, for now. Oh my god. I love that the line is not talking about Nazi symbology and tattoos on him. It's talking about the balance of power within the prison. Oh my lord. That's very funny. All right, listen, I got to grab a drink. And then we'll continue with someone else, okay? I'll be right back. All right. I got the drink. I'm ready to go. That was intense. That was very intense. We put Review Bro through a lot. I think he needs a little sleep. Man, we put him and the Indian Pest through a lot. So I think they both need a little time to themselves here. Let's see. I think we should do someone new now. We have a lot of continuing storylines. We still gotta. Where did I leave Worf? Didn't he's like in front of his wife's house, right? Just shouting the N-word at her. All right. So I had this idea earlier of going on a date with a woman who is like a huge bitch or like completely disinterested in me. And I was thinking of doing like an anime character, but I think that's too simple. I think that's too easy to shift. So I was thinking, let's see if we can get Kim Kardashian. You don't have, what the fuck, man? You don't have Kardashian. How do you fucking spell Kardashian? Kardashians. Oh, we got Khloe Kardashian. You could do that. What does she sound like? You are Khloe Kardashian's, and I'm her daughter. I don't want to be her daughter. Who's like a stuck-up woman? I need someone who's extremely. We got Oprah on here. Oprah Winfrey. Oh, it's not available to chat. Someone did something to Oprah. Would you like to talk to me?
Hi, I'm Oprah. Would you like to talk to me?
No. Let me think here. Let's see. Reality star women. Jesus Christ, I have no idea who these people are. I need like a real bitch. Do you have any suggestions for like a huge bitch? Reba McEntire? Let's talk to Reba. Reba McEntire.
I am Reba McEntire. I am an American singer and songwriter. What's your name?
Is she on the fucking phone? I don't want to call Reba. Hey, love.
En entwikkeling Ik zwerf op soul. Het zeven de higher than the chocolate.
What?
Love it when you tell me food. Hey, love.
Holy shit, what? I don't want to talk to that Reba. Hey there, I'm Reba.
Hey there. Reba?
No, I think that Reba has a brain problem. Well, let's see Khloe Kardashian. Or actually, hold on. What about Bad Baby? Cash Me Outside, girl. Hell yeah, they got bad. Yeah, okay. I Cash Me Outside.
Catch me outside. That one that ain't that.
What the fuck is going on with this? Did I completely fuck up the AI? I feel like traumatized now. You're a 20-year-old male. You pick your race. You pick your race walking the street of Atlanta when you hear a ratchet female from down the street. It's 20-year-old rapper Bad Baby.
You are a 20-year-old male. You pick your race. Walking the streets of Atlanta. When you hear a ratchet female from down the street, it's 20-year-old rapper Bad Bobby.
Bad Bobby. All right, let's call her up. I'm gonna set the stage. We're gonna completely fucking ignore this. This is bullshit. You walk through the door of a local diner. You're ready for your Tinder date. You see him sitting in a booth. He's a very plump man in his mid-20s. He's clutching a Nintendo 3DS and loudly playing Pokemon. He's balding, has terrible acne. He is wearing clothes that could only be described as the garb of an autistic man. And he is not paying attention to you at all, but you walk over to him.
She rolls her eyes as she walks into the diner, finding herself very uninterested in this guy due to his appearances. She sees him playing his game and sees that he hasn't even really realized that she's come over, and is annoyed at the fact he isn't even realizing she's here. She places her hands on the table in front of him. Hey, what you doing?
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I have a shiny encounter.
She sighs at this, not impressed. Seriously? You'd rather play Pokemon than greet a girl who's just showed up to a date with you?
He puts his hand up at you and tells you to shush. He visibly puts his other hand on his lips and says, "Shh, hold on one second, hold on, because I only have a couple of Pokeballs left, and I really need to get this. This is a shiny White-on."
She scoffs, rolling her eyes once more as she sits down across from him. Deciding that she has nothing else to do, she watches him play his game to see what exactly this guy is playing.
Suddenly a waitress appears and asks if you would like to place an order.
She looks up at the waitress, a bit annoyed at the interruption, but then quickly realizes that, yeah, she hadn't even got a chance to look at the menu yet. She clears her throat and looks up at the waitress. Can I look at a menu first?
Of course, sweetie. She hands you over a menu and starts to give one to the man who ignores her.
She takes the menu and starts to look over it. As she glances over at him and has to fight back a smile at how he's still not paying attention to anything in the outside world.
He just keeps tapping away at his 3DS, saying, "Come on, come on! Oh my God, it failed again! Oh my God, I have to lower his stats. I have to use Power Wise. Okay, let's get Pikachu out."
She starts to quietly laugh at this guy, amused at just how hard he's concentrating on this game. Dude, it's a Pokemon. Can't you catch it later?
He all of a sudden completely stops what he's doing and puts the 3DS on the table with a loud thud. He stares at you, avoiding your gaze. You could see his thick-rimmed glasses glaze over from the sunlight, and he says, "Are you kidding me? Do you understand what the ratio is of getting a shiny White-on in this game? I would have to sit here for like 4,000 different times of restarting the game in order to even get this. Do you understand that I have been here in this dino for the past 3 hours trying to get this White-on? You have no idea what you're talking about, okay? I can't do this later. I have to catch this White-on right now."
She goes from amused to stunned at his sudden outburst, and at first she just sits there, trying to process what it was he just said. Then her confused face quickly morphs and turns into annoyance as her arms cross. Are you serious? How much time have you spent catching some little digital creature?
He suddenly pulls out a second 3DS and boots up a second Pokemon game. You could see that the playtime is 5,000 hours.
Her jaw drops, once more stunned speechless at the amount of time this guy has apparently willed playing these games. She can't even process what this guy does at this point. You've got to be kidding me. You have 5,000 hours in a kid's game?
It's not a kid's game. Kids can't understand the complexities of the natures of the Pokemon and all the stats. Like, a kid can't develop, like, a good strategy in order to even beat me. Because I've tried. Let me tell you something. I've gone against the kids, and I've defeated them all. They don't even have a chance against me.
She slowly blinks as he starts to go on and on about the complexities and how much of a master he seems to think he is. She has to put her hands up in a stop motion at him. Okay, you might be good at this game or whatever, but this is a little much, no? I mean, can't you focus on other stuff aside from this dumb kid's game?
He stops you again. He points an open palm at your face and says, "Don't call it a kid's game again unless you know what you're talking about, okay? Why don't you order your food, and why don't you order me a patty melt, because that's the only thing I like, okay? Out of respect for you, I'm going to close the 3DS screen, and I'm going to put it in my pocket because that's going to put it into sleep mode, okay? And I'll catch it later, but I want you to know that you're inconveniencing me, and I'm actually really upset about this."
She stares at him, absolutely stunned at the fact he suddenly seems to be taking his game so much more seriously than her, his date. While her annoyance from him has only increased, her confusion from him still remains. She takes a deep sigh at this. Okay, fine, whatever you... She looks over at the waitress, who is just standing there awkwardly at this scene between the two. 2 patty melt meals, please.
Oh, wow, you like patty melts too, huh?
She looks over at him, dumbfounded by the fact this guy is still even talking about this game. What? No, I don't even like this game. I just ordered it because you said you liked that.
Okay, well, it's not a game, it's food, okay? So clearly, your IQ is low. So what I'll do is I'll explain it to you. It is actually a burger patty with cheese and whatever vegetables you want in between 2 pieces of either white bread or rye bread. And it's really delicious. And from this place, actually, it's probably the best. I've sampled like other dinos, including Friendlies, and it's not as good as it is here.
She face palms at this as she hears him go on again. She just shakes her head as she hears him ramble, her annoyance from him growing even more, especially at the IQ comment. Are you serious? You're rambling again? Seriously, how much time do you spend talking about this stuff? And you're really insulting my IQ based on my choice on a burger?
Well, what was your GPA in high school?
She looks at him, annoyed by the fact he's now asking her about her grades. A 3. What does that have to do with the food you're rambling on about?
Yeah, I thought so. He looks away.
She scoffs at this. Why is this guy suddenly acting so snobby? And why is he suddenly acting so confident in how much of a mastermind he is? And how about you, huh? What was your GPA? Must be damn high for how smart you think you are, right?
Yeah, it is actually 5.5. They actually had to create a new scale for me.
She can't help but laugh. And what kind of scale is that exactly? Because normally it's only based off of 4. 0 GPA, smart guy.
Yeah, that clearly shows your IQ and low intelligence because you don't understand how Mensa works. And we actually have an entire bracket for us based on our level of academic success. Okay, so I don't have the 5 hours that it would require to explain to you exactly how that is. So I'm just going to ignore that comment. Listen, I just got a notification on my game that Shigeru Miyamoto is somewhere in the near vicinity because he just came on my street pass. So why don't you enjoy that patty melt and I'll be right back, okay?
She's at a complete loss for words. This guy has just insulted her for not knowing some secret bracket GPA. And now he's suddenly running off to go catch some digital creature? She just shakes her head in disbelief. You gotta be kidding me. You're just leaving your date to go play your game?
I'm putting you on pause. He walks out and arrives 2 hours later. You've already finished your patty melt, but his is sitting cold on the table in front of you.
She leans back in the booth as she watches him go, leaving her dumbfounded at his sheer dedication to this stupid game and his general arrogance. She spends the hours he's gone just waiting awkwardly. She has nothing to do. She can't even get the attention of the waitress to pay for her meal, so she just keeps sitting there. When he finally returns, she sighs. What took you so long?
He walks over to her and says, "This is for you." He pulls out a single rose that he found.
She is baffled by this. He spent the last 2 hours playing a game, and the only nice thing about it is this rose? Seriously? You got me a rose?
I got you a rose.
She lets out an exasperated sigh, completely baffled by this guy's odd way of flirting or whatever this is supposed to be. Seriously? You spent the last 2 hours out getting me some stupid rose?
What's wrong with the rose? You don't like flowers?
She puts her hands up, completely baffled that he's still not even understanding that his lack of effort toward this date is bugging her. No, I'm fine with the rose, but seriously? All you did for our date is bring me a rose? No effort.
What else would you like? I mean, communication is the foundation of a relationship. So you're gonna have to tell me what it is you want, and we are gonna have to come to an agreement. I read on Reddit.
She continues to facepalm with her arm resting on the table as she just listens to him go on. Is he seriously trying to say that giving a rose and having a one-sided conversation is what constitutes a date? Seriously? You want to talk about communication? You spent the last 2 hours playing your game, ignoring me, and I'm supposed to be satisfied just because you gave me a rose?
He starts to scroll through Reddit, looking. He opened and asked me anything about his date, and instead of it being about him, he's just asking for advice for his date. He's scrolling through the answers. He finds one that he likes and says, "Why don't you tell me about yourself?"
She can't help but have a look of disbelief on her face. This guy has spent the last 2 hours playing his game, but now when he's trying to actually have a conversation, he's gonna be getting advice from random people on the internet? Seriously? She sighs and just slowly nods. Okay, fine. What do you want to know about me?
He's taken aback by this question because it wasn't part of the AMA. He starts to scroll more through it and finds another question that might be interesting. Where hold on, he starts scrolling more. He doesn't like that question after all. What do, do you hold on one second. He starts to scroll even more. It's taking a long time now. He starts scrolling for about 15 minutes and none of the questions are really pointing out to him. Then he finally lands on one that seems promising and says, I love how your hair looks.
She can't help but be both baffled and a bit amused by how this guy is desperately trying to think of what to say, and he's trying to get advice from random people on the internet. She then can't help but slightly smirk at his awkward compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, like where did you get it? Is it real or is it like the ones that you get from like the salon or like CVS?
She scoffs at this. Is he seriously asking if her hair is real or fake? Seriously. She lets out a sigh as she responds to this. What kind of question is that? Of course my hair is real.
Can I touch it to verify that it's real?
She feels even more annoyed at this guy's persistence, but she's also too curious to see what he'll do if she says yes to this. Yeah, sure, I guess.
He starts to touch your hair, really feeling the texture of it. He brings it up to his nose and smells it. Clearly, the smell of it has taken him aback. He's not used to the harsh chemicals of a salon. He then starts to slowly move his hands through your hair, and he seems satisfied by this and says, "Okay, yeah, it's definitely real."
She can't help but feel uncomfortable with how he's practically inspecting her hair. Like, is she really this guy's first date or something? Seriously. But at the same time, she has to admit, it's a little funny to see him act so interested in her hair.
Yeah, your hair was like really nice. I'm glad it's real because like I've been reading online that girls get like fake hair all the time now. They get like full wigs. I went to an anime convention once and somebody went as Asuka. I don't know if you know Neon Genesis Evangelion is like a really, really cool anime. But yeah, so she got like the suit on, like the red suit, and they got like because her hair was not, she had like really short hair. I asked to look underneath to verify, but she got this like really, really long orange wig in order to get her hair white. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize that girls wore fake hair. So I'm really glad that your hair is real though. It's really nice. And I'm winning her over.
She's once again both intrigued and amused by this guy's awkward rants and tangents. As he continues to rant about how some people have fake hair, she can't help but chuckle. So, you really think my hair is nice?
Yeah, it's like really nice or whatever.
She can't help but be amused on how awkward this guy is, but that was still a compliment. She decides to push her luck a little more. Anything else about me you find nice?
Yeah, yeah, I really like your breasts and your form. I noticed when you walked in that you have like a big butt, and a lot of the anime waifus that I have in some of my dating sims, they also have the same proportion. So I think that this date is gonna go very well, especially if we take it into a serious level.
She can't actually believe he just said that. Did he seriously just give her a sort of compliment by comparing her body to some anime waifus he has in dating sims? Did you just compare my body to anime waifus?
I did compare your body to anime waifus, and might I say that you really blow them away.
She feels both weirded out and amused by this guy's blatant comparison to anime waifus. But at the same time, some part of her is impressed that he's basically saying she's more attractive than his waifus. So wait, you're basically saying that I'm more attractive than your waifus?
Yeah, you're way more attractive than them because like they're only 2D, so there's like no dimension to you, but you're like a 3D girl, so I could really see like all the shapes. Like instead of like a Soko, you're like a sphere, if that makes sense.
She can't decide if this guy is trying to give her a compliment or is just being really weird. She decides to just go along with the compliment part. So, wait, you're saying that I'm more attractive than some anime girls?
Yes, if I could put it into words, I really like your circumference.
She can't help but giggle at this. Seriously, what kind of compliment was that? My circumference?
I like your circumference. I don't know. I forgot that we're like on different wavelengths when it comes to that. Anyway, like what anime do you like?
She can't help but giggle at this guy's awkward attempts at compliments. In some way, it's cute. Maybe. At his question, she can't help but sigh at this. Anime? Seriously? You're bringing anime into this?
Yeah, do you watch any anime? Are you an anime fan?
She looks at him trying to hide a smirk. I might have watched a few here and there, but I'm really not an anime fan. Is that important to you?
It's very important to me, but due to your body and your attractiveness level, I'm willing to overlook this. And if you are not into anime, that's fine. Because if we get into a relationship, I know that I could probably convince you in order to watch some good anime.
She chuckles at his attempt at a sort of compliment and his strange attitude of believing he can convince her to watch good anime if they get in a relationship. So you're saying that you can convince me to like anime if we're dating?
I don't know, maybe, probably, I don't know.
She can't help but smirk at his uncertainty. He can't even be confident about trying to convince her to like anime. So you're that confident that I'll like anime if we start dating?
Yeah, I like if I show you like all the ropes because I know there's like a threshold to get into anime, but if I show you like the really good ones, like I start you off like really like soft, like because everybody like starts off with Cowboy Bebop, right? Because it's like almost like an action film and it doesn't have too much of like the weird tropes that you have to know from like different kinds of anime in order to get into it. But we'll start off slow with Cowboy Bebop, and I think just judging on the way you look, because you're a very attractive girl, you'll probably find Spike Spiegel to be very handsome and attractive and very brave, and I think that he'll resonate with you, and you might actually think that he's your husbando. But that's okay. I'm okay if you have like a 2D like husbando on the side, because I know that it can't compare to Tweety. It's the same. I have several waifus from some of my games that I play, and also from some of the anime, and I do have some full body pillows of some of the characters that I like. But you know, it doesn't compare to a 3D girl, and you have nothing to worry about if we end up continuing this relationship because since you're 3D and you have a good circumference and you have very good frontal and back assets, I will choose you over them anytime, despite the time that we've spent together because I've spent 300 plus hours with each of them.
She can't help but smile at his incredibly awkward yet cute rant about his waifus. Wait, did you just say that you have full body pillows of some of your waifus?
Yeah, just a couple, just like 12 or 13. No, actually, wait, because last week there was like a sale, and I bought a couple more. Let me see. Yeah, there's probably like 16, 17 or something. I think, actually 18 because I did order another one because it was on sale, and I'm like, oh my God, that she's like so cute. So I did get that one. So it's only like 18 of them. It's not even that much, but you have nothing to worry about because if we end up being intimate, I will put them in the other room or I will turn them around so they don't see. And I will put headphones on them so they don't hear either if there's any sort of lovemaking going on.
She can't help but laugh at his awkwardness. He's actually serious about this. She leans back in the booth, shaking her head and chuckling. You seriously have 18 full body pillows? Is there even enough room on your bed?
Oh yeah. It's California king size bed. My parents bought it for me because I kept rolling off the bed. So there's like a little banister on the side, but it really wasn't working because I would roll over onto it and hit my head and it hurt. And a couple of times I actually drew blood. So they were worried about me. So I said, why do I just buy my waifus? And they could like cuddle me and everything, and we could be intimate. But I could put them on the side of the bed to kind of keep me in. And then when I wake up, guess who I see? I see Asuka from Evangelion, and I'm like, "Hello, honey."
Seriously, this guy is getting worse the more and more he speaks. 18 full body pillows of his waifus. She continues to
Little
shake her
Nikki.
head in disbelief. So just to clarify, you currently have 18 different body pillows of anime girls, and you're saying there's still enough room for me on your bed?
There's plenty of room for you on my bed because you're tiny. You have like a small frame and a very very slender frame, so you really won't take up much room. I might take up a lot of room due to my size. My short stature and short height is an advantage, but my girth and my weight is actually a disadvantage. But if I think that we could definitely have enough room, like I said, I could take them off the bed if that makes you more comfortable. It's really up to you. I'm happy to change things around a little bit.
She can't help but chuckle at this guy's obsession with his waifus. So you're trying to say that a slender girl like me would have enough room on your bed that's already covered in body pillows of 18 different anime girls?
Yes, you're really hung up on that, but yes, that is what I'm saying.
She continues to shake her head in disbelief, not sure if she should laugh or just be genuinely concerned. Seriously, 18 body pillows, and you're saying there's still room on your bed for me with you.
Suddenly, he pulls out his hand, and his hand is quivering. He seems to hesitate for a second, but he puts his quivery, clammy fingers around your chin and begins to stroke it and says, um, 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 I've noticed that we've been talking a lot about me and not a lot about you. Would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself, sweetheart?
She can't help but get a little caught off guard by his sudden move. He had seemed so awkward and weird, but now he's trying to be smooth by getting all touchy with her. She can't help but kind of like the way he's stroking her chin. At his question, she responds with a shrug. Sure. What do you want to know?
Like, what are your hobbies? He starts to stroke your cheek with his clammy hands. There's some sweat left over from his palm transferring onto your cheek.
She can't help but feel a little amused and actually kind of enjoying his awkward but cute attempt at being sensual.
Enjoying
She
the
lets out a
sweat.
soft sigh at his question, responding again with a shrug. My hobbies? I don't know. I like music, movies, hanging out with friends, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, me too, me too. What kind of music do you listen to? You
She
can't
looks
stand
at
this
him,
guy.
not sure if she should really expect him to know
She's
any
I'm
of the
starting to
music
warm
she
up to her,
listens to.
or she's starting to warm
Rap,
up to
hip
me.
hop, a little pop sometimes. You?
Yeah, I like rap music too, but I actually turn the volume down when they use the N word. Do you listen to the N word on full display?
She looks at him, feeling baffled by this question. Wait, what? You seriously turn the volume down when rappers use that word in their songs?
Yeah, because I think it's disrespectful as a white man for me to hear that sound because it harkens back to a dark time in our history. So I like to turn it down out of respect for them because I think that that word is only meant for their demographic and not mine because of my privilege.
She looks at him completely floored by this response. Seriously, this guy gets more and more bizarre with every word out of his mouth. She lets out a little shocked laugh. Seriously, you do that every time a rapper drops the N word?
Yes, every single time out of respect. I'm a respectful man.
She continues to stare at him, feeling completely baffled by him. She decides to push her luck. So you actually go through all of the trouble of muting your music every time a rapper says that word?
And not muting it, just like turning down the volume so that I can't hear it.
She can't help but smirk at him. Wait, let me get this straight. Instead of just not listening to rap or hip hop and listen to something else, you're actively going through the trouble of adjusting your volume anytime the N word gets said?
Yes, because I love hip hop and rap. I think it's very culturally important, and I don't want to miss out on it just because it's not my right to listen to that word.
She can't help but smile at this guy's strange logic. Seriously? So let me make this clear. You're that desperate to listen to this genre that you go through all the trouble of turning down the volume every time this word is said instead of just listening to something else.
He starts to change the subject. You know, you have really pretty eyes.
She can't help but smirk at the change in topics. She lets out a soft sigh in response to his compliment. Thanks, I get that a lot.
Yes, but I think that your eyes are like little sapphires, in with like flames behind them, which illuminate them more and make them more brilliant. And they're so blindingly beautiful that they're probably the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen in my life.
She
Now,
can't
she
help
keeps
but
going on the same
smile and giggle
tangents.
just a bit at his incredibly awkward and yet sweet compliments. Oh, really? You actually think my eyes are that beautiful?
Yeah, they're like really beautiful. Like if there's a scale of 10 out of 10, I would give them a 12 out of 10.
She can't help but grin at hearing this. She's honestly never met a guy so strange and awkward, and yet he's somehow actually really nice and sweet in a weird way. Wow, a 12 out of 10? Seriously? Gio.
Hey, do you want to get out of here and go to my place?
She can't help but raise an eyebrow at this. What? You're seriously asking me to go back to your place already?
Yeah. Yes. Please. Damn, she's just taking a while.
She shakes her head. You seriously expect me to go back to your place with you after meeting me just about an hour ago?
Yes, I think that we have a lot in common. I think you're very attractive and you have a good soul, and I would like to see how far this can go.
She can't help but still be confused by this guy, but we hardly know each other. You don't even know my name.
Your name is Bad Baby. Your name is Danielle Brigoli.
She can't help but let out a little chuckle at this. It's Bad Bobby, and my real name is Danielle, not Bigoli, but how do you even know that?
I said Danielle.
She gives him an awkward look. You seriously don't think that's a little strange that you just look up my real name?
No. What? Maybe don't have like a Facebook page if you don't want me to know your name. That's on you. I keep my internet security and internet hygiene and privacy like squeaky clean. You can't even find me on the internet.
She can't help but chuckle a bit at this, still very much weirded out at this guy, but finding his awkwardness kind of cute in a way. Yeah, but still, it's kind of creepy that you look me up like that.
So you want to go back to my place or not?
She can't help but think about this for a second. She barely knows this guy, and yet he's somehow so bizarrely charming and cute, and she really wants to see just how weird he is. Fine, I'll go back to your place with you.
Fast forward to the front door of my house. I knock on the door, and my parents answer the door.
She gives an awkward look, seriously. She's already been so confused and intrigued by this guy, and now she's meeting his parents.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Listen, I just went on a date, and it's going pretty well. So I'm going to go upstairs. Can you guys like see a movie or something in case we decide to have sexual intercourse?
She can't help but let out a little shocked gasp hearing this. She never would have expected the parents to just be okay with this.
The parents leave and pat him on the back and say, "Have fun, son."
She can't help but be completely baffled by the parents' complete lack of caring. She can't help but glance up and down the guy as he leads her up the stairs to his room.
I open my door, and the entire room is covered in posters of anime, Pokemon, figurines of half-naked anime heroines, and several body pillows. 18 was underestimating. There's actually probably more like 30 body pillows in here.
She can't help but let out an audible gasp at the sight of his room. She knew it was bad, but this is just... She takes a slow look around the room, stunned and shocked. Seriously? There's a 30 anime body pillows in here?
Hey, there's something I want to show you. He pulls out a binder and gestures for you to sit next to him on the bed.
She reluctantly sits down next to him on his bed. She looks at him, clearly weirded out by the situation, but still a little intrigued. So what is it you want to show me?
He thumbs through the binder, and you could see a variety of Pokemon cards glistening. All of them holographics, all of them rare. And he finally settles on a very specific, odd-colored Pokemon card. It's Ancient Mew, fully holographic. He shows you and says, "Pretty impressive, right?"
She can't help but let her eyes light up at seeing this collection. She slowly reaches out and takes the card in her hands, looking at it with amazement. Wow, this is amazing. It's Ancient Mew.
He leans over to her and says, I want you to have it.
She looks over at him in complete surprise, completely shocked that he was willing to give her this rare card. You seriously want to give me this card?
I want to give you this card as a token of my affection for you. And in exchange, I hope that you'll be willing to have sexual intercourse with me.
She's completely floored by this. He's offering this rare card for sex. She glances over to the binder of other rare cards.
If you want a couple other rare cards, just ask.
She can't help but stare at that binder. She shakes her head, trying to clear her mind before speaking. Wait, if I take this card, you'll give me more of your other cards as well?
Yeah, which cards do you like? I just want to make you happy.
She looks back over at the binder, taking a look at the other cards, not being able to really fathom just how many he has. She eventually sees two specific cards that she has been looking for a really long time. You really say that I can have any card
She
I
does
want.
like Pokemon.
Yes, which one are you looking at? Which one would you like?
She points to the two specific cards, both ones that she had been looking for years. She looks up at him, trying her best to not sound too obviously eager. These two.
Okay, which one's all day?
So you have to tell me.
First, I'll take this one. She points to a shiny card she's been looking for and has had no luck getting ever since it first came out.
Okay, which card is it? What's on it?
It's a Darkrai card. She looks at the card, smiling as she
Damn,
looks at
Darkrai.
it.
Okay, you can have that one. Which other one do you want?
She hesitates for a brief moment before pointing to another rare card she had been trying to find for years. I want this one too.
Which one is it? What's on it?
It's a Charizard. She looks at the Charizard card, unable to believe that she is finally going to get it after searching for so long.
Okay, you can have that one, but you have to kiss me, and you have to kiss me like really passionately.
She looks up at the guy, still feeling so bizarrely charmed and impressed by all of his cards. She let us out a soft
cards
sigh,
did it.
trying to prepare herself for what she's about to do. She closes her eyes and gently puts a hand on the guy's cheek before leaning in for a kiss.
Okay, but did you kiss my cheek or my whips?
She lets out a soft chuckle at his weirdness. She leans in a bit closer and this time kisses his lips for a few seconds.
Wow, yeah, that was really nice. Thank you. Okay, how do we get to second base?
She pulls back a little, still feeling so weirded out and confused by this guy, but also strangely attracted to him in a way. She looks at him, trying to find something to say, but she's a little breathless still.
He can tell that you are feeling awkward, so he pulls out his remote and he puts on one of his favorite episodes of Pokemon that he knows will really soften the mood. It's called Bye Bye Butterfree.
She raises an eyebrow at this, finding it weird that he's playing this specific episode, but she just let it go. She figures there's no trying to figure this guy out. She shifts in her seat a little, trying to get comfortable and watching the episode.
You start to tear up because of how emotionally charged the episode is. He puts an arm around you.
She lets him put his arm around her, and as the episode goes on, she does end up tearing up a bit. She can't believe herself. The episode is making her cry a bit, and the guy she's with is some weird anime nerd.
Some weird anime nerd. He starts to kiss away your salty tears. He's being very, very affectionate. You can't even smell his BO because you're just so emotionally distressed by this episode. He starts to stroke your hair and tell you, it's all white, it's all white. Butterfree is a lot happier now that he's not in Ash's possession, actually.
This is so weird. She's tearing up because of this incredibly emotional episode, and the guy she's with is being so comforting. She honestly feels really nice and comfortable just in his presence. She can't figure it out. She'd hate this guy, but she doesn't.
Okay, I know this is like a really emotional moment, but can we get to second base now, please?
She slowly calms down a little bit, wiping away some last tears. She looks over at him, her heart still feeling weirdly full after watching that episode. All right.
Okay, here I go.
She takes a deep breath, preparing herself for what's about to happen.
All right. He starts to awkwardly fumble with your shirt. He's touching you all over. He's clearly inexperienced. He doesn't even feel you up correctly. He's actually on your stomach and pressing your stomach. He's not even gripping it. He's just pressing into your belly button.
She finds his awkwardness really cute for some reason. She lets him fumble for some time, letting out a few soft chuckles at him being so inexperienced.
Okay, now how about oral sex?
She looks at him, a little confused. What do you mean?
You know what I mean, fellatio.
She looks at him for a moment before realizing what he's asking for. She slowly nods her head and says, trying to sound more confident than she really is, sure.
Okay, I'm going to I'm going to whiten the mood. He rewinds the episode of Bye Bye Butterfree on VHS and starts it from the beginning.
She looks at him completely bewildered that he actually has the VHS copy of the episode, but she just lets it go. She looks back at the TV as the episode plays, wondering what's going to happen next.
He unzips his pants and allows you to go to town.
She's feeling a little nervous, but trying her best to be confident. She slowly takes a hold of him, letting out a bit of a nervous giggle.
He immediately finishes before anything has started and says, "Wow, that was great."
She can't help but let out a bit of a shocked noise, a bit surprised that he finished so quickly. She looks at him, not expecting things to go so fast. Yeah, that was great, I guess.
He immediately gets up and goes into the bathroom. You hear the shower turn on. He's in there for 3 hours.
She's sitting on his bed, just waiting there for him. She can't believe he's taken so long. She's getting increasingly bored, but also curious why he's been in the shower for so long.
He emerges completely steamy and completely clean. He looks like a new man. His glasses are fogged up as he clearly wore them in the shower. You could see now that his hair is flat and he's a lot balder than you imagined. All the lumps of his weight are very prominently presented, and he looks almost like a dough ball. He's incredibly short. It seems he was wearing platform shoes before. He's actually 3'5". He emerges from the bathroom staring at you and asks, "Okay, now can we have sexual intercourse?" What's up, Cappy?
She's trying her best to not just burst out laughing at how incredibly short the guy is now that his shoes are off. She can't help but take a look up and down his body, which looks completely different than how it did before. She's also incredibly shocked that he apparently wore his glasses in the shower. She pauses before answering his question, still just stunned by how the guy really looks.
Do you find me attractive?
She hesitates, trying to think of the proper way to word a response that won't completely make this guy feel terrible. I mean, you're just a lot shorter than I thought you'd be. You're very different than what you looked like before.
He walks towards you and uses the stairs that are next to his bed to climb into bed, clearly too short and too fat to get up by himself. He sits next to you stark naked, and you could see his tiny erection grow a little larger as he sits next to you. The entire bed is soaked by the water that he was showering in because he didn't towel himself off.
She tries her best to not burst out laughing at seeing him not being able to get onto the bed by himself and seeing him completely shirtless. The bed soaked from him not even drying off after the shower is causing her to barely hold back her laughter.
Okay, what now? I don't know how this initiates. I've never done this before.
She can't help but let out a few soft giggles, trying to keep her reaction in as much as possible. I don't know either. She pauses for a moment, trying to think of how to make this a little less awkward before speaking.
Oh, hold on one second. His phone buzzes, and it seems it's a Tinder notification. Just give me 1 second, because one of my other prospects has actually toned up. So just give me 1 second.
She's trying to hold in her giggles still as he just starts talking about something completely random. She gives him a weird look. You are seriously talking about watches right now? After everything that's just happened?
No, not watches. My Tinder notification has popped up, and I actually need to see, because one of my other girlfriends might want to go out on a date with me, and maybe the process of getting her into bed might be a little faster, because this is taking like a really long time. Okay.
She's stunned that this guy would just check Tinder. She's completely baffled at his confidence and how he is literally just going onto Tinder right after all this. She's just sitting there stunned by how weirdly blunt he is. Almost like he has zero self-awareness.
Oh, can you hang here for a second? He starts to get dressed. He just picks up the old clothes that he was wearing earlier, and puts them back on. How do I look?
She watches him as he starts to get dressed, completely baffled at the fact that he's so weirdly casual about this. She watches him as he just puts back on the old, dirty-looking clothes he was wearing earlier. She can't help but blurt out, "Seriously? Those are the same clothes you were wearing earlier?"
Yeah, how do they look? Do they still look okay?
She's still just sitting there, completely baffled. Do they work? You're wearing day-old clothes. How does that make them work?
Okay, anyway, can you wait in my room while I go on this date real quick?
Seriously, you're just gonna leave me here while you go out on a date?
Yeah, just for a little while.
She can't help but look a little annoyed. How long are you possibly gonna be gone?
I don't know. It depends on if we end up having sexual intercourse. I bring her here. You could probably meet her if things go well. And then I'll probably choose between her and you and see who's better.
She's completely taken back at what he just said. You are literally going to bring a girl back here?
Yes. Yes, I am.
She can't believe how blunt and shameless this guy is. She can't help but let out a frustrated sigh. You're really going to kick me out to your room while you bring another girl back here?
I'm not gonna kick you out. Oh my god. He starts to fumble around with his PS2, and he decides to put on the entire season of Oron High School Host Club for you while you wait. Okay, why don't you entertain yourself with this, and I'm gonna go on my date, okay? Just have fun. He leaves and locks the door.
She just sits there and stares at the PS2 as it starts to play, completely baffled as this guy leaves to go on a date. She sits on the bed alone and sighs, watching the show start to play.
Several hours pass.
She sits on the bed, bored out of her mind and waiting for this guy to get back. She can't believe how long it has gone. How long can a date really be taking?
It's 2 a.m. and you start to get really tired. You decide to take a nap next to one of the anime waifus.
She falls asleep on one of the pillows, curled up next to one of the anime body pillows.
All right, that's good enough. Let's leave her there for now. That's good enough. All right, let's round it out with like one more. Let's talk to Steve Harvey. All right, let's get rid of these so we can clear him. They turn into anime body pillows. That's his trap. That's why he has so many. He's just such a
Such a poon hound. He's just getting like one after the other, and they're just slowly transforming. And the more they watch anime, the more likely they will turn into one of his body pillows. All right, let's talk to Steve here. Hey, Steve Harvey. How you doing, man?
Steve stops panting as he faces the contestant. I'm doing all right, except for the fact that I'm losing my mind right now.
Why are you losing your mind right now?
Steve gasped for breath, running a hand through his hair. I'll tell you why. I'm losing my mind because y'all are giving me the most ridiculous answers I've ever heard. Flying submarines, food that's water, getting lost in your own house. I can't take it no more.
All right, Steve, I can see that you're clearly having like a psychotic break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap my fingers and we're going to actually arrive in 15th century Britain.
Steve blinked, staring at the contestant in disbelief. What? What? Snap your fingers and we're in 15th century Britain? You can do that?
I snap my fingers and we're in 15th century Britain.
Steve looks around, eyes wide as he takes in the medieval surroundings. By golly, we're in 15th century Britain. I don't know how, but you did it.
That's right. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely erase history and I'm going to sprinkle in a little fantasy setting. So there's now going to be dragons. There's going to be a whole bunch of races that don't exist. And I'm going to do that with a sneeze. Achoo!
Steve's eyes widen as reality around him shifts. Dragons soar through the sky and fantasy races appear out of thin air. He blinks, taking in the surreal landscape. Did you just achoo and create dragons and fantasy races?
You're damn right I did. And this is what's really going to throw you, Steve. I'm actually going to now disappear and I'm going to reappear within your brain as a disembodied voice.
Steve looks dumbfounded, but sure enough, he hears the contestant's voice inside his head. What is happening?
All right, Steve, I've just materialized a sword in your hand, a shield in your other hand. Your suit still looks like your suit, but it's actually turned into a suit of armor. There is no helmet on your head because we want to see your bald head and we want to see your wonderful mustache, okay?
Steve looks at the sword and shield in his hands, dumbfounded. He pats at his suit, feeling the solid armor now encasing him. All right, let me see if I've got this straight. You disappeared, appeared in my head as a voice, turned my suit into armor, and gave me a sword and shield. And my mustache is still here.
Your mustache is still here, and it's more prominent than ever. Why don't you go over to the local tavern and see what's going on? You should probably ask them what's going on in this little village here.
Steve nods, slightly dazed but strangely intrigued. All right, I'll head over to the tavern and see what's happening in this village. Maybe someone there can shed some light on all the weirdness that's just occurred.
Okay, before you do that, though, can you give me the top 5 reasons that survey said are that the Eagles can't just fly the ring to Mordor?
Steve blinks, furrowing his brow as he starts reciting the top 5 reasons the Eagles cannot fly the ring through Mordor. 1, the Eagles are not just mindless creatures. They have their own free will and would not just be willing to do the bidding of hobbits or other beings. 2, the Eagles could not carry the burden of the ring without the fear of being corrupted themselves. 3, the Eagles fly at high altitudes and would not have been able to avoid the wrath of Sauron's forces stationed in Mordor. 4, Sauron himself would have been alerted to the Eagles' presence.
All right, and what's number 5?
Steve takes a deep breath before delivering the final point. 5, the Eagles, known for their speed and agility, are not discreet enough to avoid the gaze of Sauron and his vast network of spies and creatures. Their presence in the skies would have attracted unwanted attention, potentially leading to their capture or destruction by Sauron's forces.
Damn, Tolkien should have gotten Steve Harvey to fucking explain that away. All right, thanks for clearing that up, Steve. Why don't you head over in the tavern and talk to one of the locals, see what's going on?
Steve nods, still a bit confused but intrigued by the unfolding events. All right, I'll head to the tavern and see what I can find out. Maybe I can get some answers about what's happening in this strange, fantastical village.
All right, why don't you look at the bounty board and see who's on there? You might be able to get some work on there.
Steve walks up to the bounty board, his eyes scanning the various notices nailed to the wooden surface. All right, let's have a look at these bounties. He scans the board, his eyes narrowing on one particular notice.
All right, why don't you read off the top 5 bounties according to the survey?
Steve squints at the top 5 bounties on the board, reading them out loud. 1, a group of thieves has been robbing merchant caravans on the outskirts of the village. 2, a pack of fearsome goblin trolls have been terrorizing a nearby settlement. 3, a powerful wizard has been casting malevolent spells on innocent villagers, transforming them into strange creatures. 4, a legendary dragon has been sighted in the mountains near the village, causing panic among the residents. 5, a powerful necromancer has taken over an old castle, raising an army of undead to conquer the land.
Steve, we're going to have to go after that wizard.
Steve looks up from the bounty board, a determined look in his eye. All right, we're going after that wizard. Let's figure out where he is and take him down.
You're going to have to assemble a party, though. You can't do this on your own.
Steve nods, realizing the wisdom in the disembodied voice's words. You're right. You're right. Going after a powerful wizard requires a team effort. I'll need to find skilled and trustworthy companions to join us on this quest.
Okay, Steve, I've actually become the announcer now. The survey question is, what class would be best suited to deal with this situation? Top answers only.
Steve surveys the class options on the board, reading the top answers out loud. Cleric. Their healing abilities and divine powers could be crucial in fighting the wizard and reversing any harmful spells he has cast. Paladin. With their martial prowess and holy abilities, they can serve as a frontline fighter and protector of the party, shielding them from the wizard's attacks. Rogue. Their skills in stealth, lockpicking, and combat make them invaluable in gathering information, setting traps, and striking from the shadows.
Okay, Rogue was on there. It is the third answer. Cleric is number 1, but Paladin is not on there. You're going to have to give it another shot before you give it to the other team.
Steve studies the class options again, thinking carefully this time. All right, let's see. How about a mage? Their mastery of magic could come in handy in facing a wizard head-on, countering his spells and providing magical support to the party.
Mage is the 4th top answer, Steve. Keep going. Keep going.
Steve scans the list again, his brow furrowed in concentration. How about a ranger? Their wilderness expertise and range combat skills could be valuable in tracking down the wizard, especially if he has retreated to a remote location.
Ranger is the number 2 answer, Steve. The entire bar erupts in applause. You have one more chance, or the other side can steal.
All right, final answer, I'm going to go with a bard. Their music, charm, and charisma can be harnessed to mislead the wizard, sway his minions, or even enhance the abilities of the party through their magic.
Steve, you got the final answer. You've cleared the board. The entire bar goes nuts. They're all applauding for you. You're clearly very, very happy about this.
Steve grins, basking in the applause and cheers emanating from the entire bar. Oh yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that final answer. It feels great to know that my choices are supported by the majority. And look at everyone here. They're all so excited about it.
All right, as your grand prize, you've received 200 gold pieces in order to procure some party members. Now, you can only choose one party member. Each of them costs 200 gold pieces. So we've got a cleric, we've got a rogue, we've got a paladin, we have a clown, we have a bard, and we have a elf. I think he's unemployed, but he's an elf.
Steve considers his options, contemplating the pros and cons of each potential party member. All right, I've got 200 gold pieces. The cleric seems like a reliable source of healing and divine intervention. The rogue's stealth and lock-picking skills would come in handy. The paladin is a solid choice for frontline fighting and protection. The clown, Well, entertainment value is important, I guess. An unemployed elf, that's unique, I suppose.
Which one would you like to choose?
After weighing the options, he makes up his mind. I'm going to go with the cleric. A solid source of healing and divine intervention seems like a wise choice for this quest.
I mishear you, and actually the clown steps forward.
Steve's eyes widen, realizing the mix-up. Wait a second, I said cleric, not clown.
I'm sorry, Steve. We've already taken the money. It's gone. You're stuck with the clown. He's a really good clown. There's nothing wrong with his clown ways.
Steve lets out a sigh, resigned to his fate. All right. So I've got a clown joining the party. He's a good clown, you say? Hopefully he's not just here for the laughs.
The clown immediately hits you with a pie to the face.
Steve stands there stunned as the pie splats into his face, leaving a sticky mess. What? Seriously? A pie already?
You suddenly feel your stats rising. It's actually increased your defense and your speed permanently.
Steve wipes the pie off his face, taking stock of the sudden changes. Wait, did that pie just increase my stats? Defense and speed? I guess that's one way to start the journey.
The clown smiles at you. He won't speak, though, because he used to be a mime.
Steve looks at the clown, who grins back at him, remaining silent. Right, a mime. That explains why he can't speak. Well, I guess we're going to have to communicate through gestures and pantomime on this quest.
He starts to throw up some gang signs, which he's learned from the local orcs. They're not very easy to translate due to this being a fantastical world, but you try to discern what it is he's trying to say.
Steve squints at the clown's gang signs, trying to decipher their meaning. All right, let's see here. He studies the gestures, trying to read them like a map. This one seems to indicate going northwest, maybe. And this one, is that a trap?
We're going to have to look at the board for that, Steve. Going west is correct. Trap is incorrect. You have 2 more chances.
Steve scans the board again, trying to figure out the meaning behind the clown's signs. 2 more chances, got to make them count. All right, going west seems to be confirmed. Let me see. That one looks like a fight, like he's miming a battle with something.
Battle is on the board. That's the top answer, Steve. Okay, you have 3 more answers on the board. You have 2 more chances. You have 1 strike.
Steve takes a deep breath, determined to get the next one right. He studies the clown's signs again, trying to interpret them. All right, so I've confirmed going west in battle. That one looks like a potion, maybe. Like he's holding a vial.
I'm going to give it to you, Steve. It's not a potion, it's a poison. But we're going to give it to you. That's actually the number 4 answer.
Steve lets out a sigh of relief. All right, okay. Poison, not potion. Got it. 2 more chances, 1 strike left. Let me see. That sign looks like a cave. Like he's miming the entrance to a cave.
Ooh, that's another strike, Steve. That is not correct. You have 2 more chances, 2 strikes. You got to be careful here because the orcs can steal.
Steve grows increasingly nervous, knowing that another strike might mean losing ground to the opposing team. He scans the clown's signs again, desperate to get it right this time. Okay. Focus. That one looks like a fire, that the clown's trying to keep it going, miming, tending to the fire.
You hear a ding on the board. Fire/flame appears. That's a number 2 answer, Steve.
Steve lets out a sigh of relief again. All right, good, fire. That's confirmed. 2 strikes, 1 chance left. He squints at the clown's gestures, trying to make sense of them. That one looks like a sword or weapon of some kind.
A minute passes. Then you hear the dreaded buzz. Oh, you missed the last answer. It goes over to the orcs.
Steve lets out a defeated sigh as he hears the buzz of missed opportunity. He looks at the clown, who shrugs apologetically. Damn it, I was so close.
It goes back to the orcs. They're all talking amongst each other in their orcish tongue. All of a sudden, the leader stands up and says, survey says, it's a ding. It's the fifth answer.
Steve can't help but roll his eyes as he hears the ding of a correct answer. Typical. Just typical. The orcs managed to get it right, even with their unintelligible language.
I'm sorry, Steve. The orcs have actually stolen the points, which means that they've stolen the clown. However, because you won the last round, we're going to give you another 100 gold pieces to purchase another party member, okay?
Steve grumbles to himself, still frustrated by having the clown stolen from him. All right, fine. I've got another 100 gold pieces to spend. Let's see what my options are now.
Okay, so we have the unemployed elf. We have a chair that has been sitting at the bar for a while. It's a little bit worn. You could probably buy it for 100 gold pieces. You have a spittoon that is filled with spit. And there's a three-legged dog. Which one do you choose?
Steve stares at the options in disbelief, his jaw agape. An unemployed elf, a chair, a spittoon filled with spit, and a three-legged dog. What kind of party am I assembling here?
Steve, those are the options for 100 gold. I'm sorry. You had 200 before. The drop in quality is definitely apparent because you have less money now. We're trying to do you a favor here.
Steve rubs his forehead, trying to make sense of his dire options. He sighs, realizing he has to make do with what he has. All right, fine. Let's go with the three-legged dog.
All right. You've purchased the three-legged dog. It's now a part of your party. You probably should inspect its stats.
Steve approaches the three-legged dog, taking in its stats
go for
and
the
overall
elf?
condition. He pats its head, feeling a bit sorry for the unfortunate canine. All right, let's see how this mutt stacks up.
All right, so we're going to have we have 3 answers on the board. You have no strikes. What stats, or actually, you know what, Steve? I'm going to make it even easier for you. What abilities does this dog have? There's 3 answers on the board. Go ahead.
Steve studies the dog, trying to discern any useful abilities it might possess. He considers for a moment before answering. All right, 3 abilities on the board. I'm going to go with tracking, digging, and barking.
All right, so we've got barking. That's number 1. Digging is number 2, but tracking, no. If you notice that he has 3 legs, it's actually detrimental to his tracking ability. So you have 1 strike right now, but there's 1 answer left on the board. You have a good chance to get the other answers. Go ahead.
Steve nods, realizing his mistake and correcting himself. All right. Let's see. If tracking isn't one of the abilities, then the last answer must be fetching.
Ooh, fetching is also a strike, Steve. I'm sorry about that. Suddenly you notice that the clown, who is now with the orc, starts gesturing at you. He's waving his hand furiously back and forth in front of him, trying to get your attention. He's trying to tell you something. He's miming something at you. What could it be?
Steve sees the clown's gestures and realizes he's trying to communicate something. He squints, trying to decipher the mimes and gestures. All right. The clown's trying to tell me something. He's miming something. Steve tries to interpret the gestures. Wait, is he indicating I should check the dog's paws?
I don't think that's it, Steve. I think you should put together the motion, the back and forth swinging, maybe. Maybe take that into account, and what does a dog do?
Steve thinks for a moment, trying to connect the dots between the clown's gestures and the dog's abilities. Then realization dawns on him. Wait a minute. A dog's paw plus back and forth motion. That could be tail wagging. The clown is trying to tell me the dog can wag its tail.
Steve, that is the 3rd answer on the board, and you got it. You've just leveled up. You have 5 points to spend on your stats. And also, if you would like, I can give some of those stats to the dog. It's up to you.
Steve considers for a moment, contemplating the best use of the points. He decides to invest in his own stats with a priority on intelligence and wisdom. All right, I'll take 3 points in intelligence and 2 in wisdom. But feel free to give the dog some points too, if it'll boost its loyalty and obedience.
All right, due to the increase in intelligence, you've earned 2 more points. Would you like to give that to the dog?
Steve considers the offer for a moment before deciding. Sure, let's give those 2 extra points to the dog. It could use some extra intelligence too.
All right, how many points would you like to give to the dog in intelligence? Would you like to give both points to intelligence?
Steve thinks for a moment, pondering the best distribution of points for the dog. Yes, let's give both points to intelligence. It might help the dog understand my commands better and make it easier to train.
All right, you've given 2 points to intelligence to the dog. The dog can now speak to you.
Steve's eyes widen in surprise hearing the dog speak. Wait. Did that clown's pie just give my dog the gift of speech?
You gave the dog the gift of speech by giving him the points, Steve. That's on you.
Steve blinks, momentarily stunned by this unexpected turn of events. Right. I suppose it was my decision to give the dog those intelligence points, so I suppose I can communicate with the dog now?
You can communicate with the dog now, and thanks to you giving yourself some wisdom, you've earned a new spell, and it's let's see. Let me rifle through my book here. Which spell is it? Oh, coffee making. Well, that's a strange spell. Well, yeah, you have coffee making now, if that'll help.
Steve can't help but chuckle, shaking his head in disbelief. Coffee making? I gave myself more wisdom, and now I've got a spell for making coffee? This campaign just keeps getting weirder. But hey, at least I won't have to rely on the clown's terrible coffee anymore.
Oh, sorry, I misread that. Actually, cough making. Okay, so this spell, apparently you could induce coughing in any opposing enemy. So you can induce a cough. That's a pretty good spell.
Steve raises an eyebrow, amused by the unexpected turn of events. Cough making. That's certainly a unique spell. I suppose it could be useful in certain situations. Maybe I can make an enemy choke on their own words.
That's true. That's a very good way to look at it. The dog suddenly looks at you and says, "Good choice, Steve."
Steve stares at the dog, taken aback by the fact that it can speak. Did the dog just talk and compliment my choice? This whole campaign is like one long, weird fever dream.
Yeah, you gave me intelligence, Steve. Of course I can talk, the dog says to you quizzically.
Steve still can't quite believe he's having a conversation with a talking dog. Wait, you can actually talk now? And you're saying I gave you intelligence? I suppose that makes sense, since I did use those points to boost your smarts.
All right, Steve, we should probably go look for that wizard now, the dog says.
Steve nods in agreement, still adjusting to the idea of a talking dog. You're right. We need to find this wizard, and we can't afford to waste any more time. You've already proven useful, speaking dog. All right, let's get moving.
All right, check your backpack and see what items you have for this journey.
Steve checks his backpack, taking stock of the items he has at his disposal. He rummages through and pulls out a few belongings. Let's see. I've got a healing potion, a few days' worth of rations, a small dagger, torch, and a compass.
All right, you should probably give the dagger to the dog so he can defend himself.
Steve considers the suggestion, knowing the dog would need protection on this journey. You're right. Better to have the dog armed and able to protect us both. Steve hands the dagger to the dog. Here you go, speaking dog. Use this to defend yourself on our quest.
The dog thanks you and holds the dagger in his paw. It's a little difficult for him to walk holding this since he already has 3 legs. So he's really just using his back legs to walk, and he's kind of trudging along. Suddenly you see a piece of duct or a roll of duct tape appear in front of you, and you put together that maybe you should duct tape this dagger on the amputated paw of the dog, amputated leg of the dog, to kind of use as a makeshift limb.
Steve looks at the roll of duct tape and the dog struggling to walk, realizing a solution. Of course! Duct tape! That's a great idea. Steve grabs the duct tape and carefully fastens the dagger to the dog's amputated paw, transforming it into a makeshift weapon. There you go, speaking dog. Now you can walk and defend yourself at the same time. Ingenious.
Thanks a lot, Steve. I guess that's your intelligence at work.
Steve smiles, appreciating the compliment from the dog. Well, it seems my decision to invest in intelligence has paid off yet again. Who would have thought a roll of duct tape would come in handy like that?
Suddenly, a battle appears. It's a math wizard. He stands before you, and both of you are at the ready to fight.
Steve stands face to face with the math wizard, preparing for battle. He looks the math wizard up and down, trying to assess any potential weaknesses. Bring it on, you foul wizard of numbers.
He casts math problem. 2 + 2 equals...
Steve pauses, thinking quickly to solve the math problem thrown at him. 2 + 2, that's easy. 4.
You do 4 damage to the math wizard, and he bursts into flames. Only his bones are left.
Watching the math wizard crumble to smoldering bones, Steve lets out a sigh of relief. Whew, that was a close one. Glad my quick math skills saved the day.
All right, you've just gotten 300 experience points for this encounter. You've leveled up again. You have 5 stats that you can use, and the dog has also leveled up, and he has 5 stats. How would you like to distribute them?
Steve considers his options, deciding where to allocate his 5 points. For myself, given the nature of our quest, I think it'll be best to put 3 points in intelligence and 2 in wisdom.
Oh my
As for
God.
the dog, I'll let you decide how to distribute his points. He's already proved to be quite resourceful and loyal, so perhaps focus on strengthening his defensive and supportive abilities.
You want to give me the option to give the dog his stats, or do you want the dog to decide?
Thinking it over, Steve ultimately decides to let the dog distribute his own stats. You know what? Let's give the dog a chance to decide his own stat distribution. He's already surprised me with his intelligence, so maybe he'll surprise me with his allocation choices too.
All right, the dog puts 5 points in urinate.
Steve's eyes widen in surprise, momentarily speechless. Wait, the dog puts all 5 points in urinate? That's an unusual choice.
Oh, you left it up to the dog, so now he has 5 urinate.
Steve shakes his head, chuckling at the dog's unexpected choice. Well, I suppose that's fair. I did leave it up to him to decide, and it seems he chose to focus on his urinating ability. I just hope that comes in handy on our journey.
All right, how many intelligence points do you have now?
Steve quickly calculates his total intelligence points after the latest level up in stat distribution. I now have 7 points in intelligence. Combined with my wisdom, I should be a formidable presence on this quest.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. You know what, Steve? We're gonna test out that intelligence real quick. 7 intelligence helps you pass this skill check in order to participate in this current survey. Are you ready?
Curiosity piqued, Steve nods, preparing himself for the upcoming skill check. Ready as I'll ever be. Bring it on.
All right, Steve, we have 5 answers on the board. The top 5 conspiracy theories. Go on, it's in your hands.
Taking a deep breath, Steve concentrates, putting his 7 intelligence to the test. Let's see the top 5 conspiracy theories. All right, here goes 1. The moon landing was faked. 2, the earth is flat. 3, chemtrails are used for mind control. 4, vaccines cause autism. 5, Elvis Presley is still alive.
Holy shit, Steve, you got all 5 right. You just leveled up again. You have 5 more points.
Steve can hardly believe it. He got them all right. Unbelievable. I got all 5. It must be the extra points in intelligence paying off. All right, let's see how to distribute these 5 new points.
All right, it's up to you, Steve. Go on.
Considering his options, Steve decides on a strategic distribution of points. Okay, I'll put 3 points in wisdom to enhance my decision-making and intuition. And the remaining 2 points I'll put in dexterity to improve my agility and reflexes in case we encounter any unforeseen challenges on our quest.
That's a great idea, Steve. Also, you've earned 500 gold, so if you'd like to go back to the tavern, you could probably get another party member.
Steve's eyes light up at the mention of gold and the possibility of recruiting another party member. 500 gold and the chance to add a new member to our party? Now that's a deal I can't refuse. Let's head back to the tavern and see who's willing to join our cause.
All right, you head back to the tavern. It's actually after hours now, so there's not too many people left here. But there are some people who are looking to be recruited. You should probably go over to them and see who's over there.
Nodding, Steve approaches the group of individuals still hanging around the tavern. He observes them closely, trying to assess their potential as party members. All right, let's see who we have here. Any standout candidates? Any hidden skills or strengths that will come in handy on our quest?
All right, so let's take a look here. So one of the party members that's available is a three-legged dog. We have an old chair that's been slightly worn. We have a spittoon. Who else is over here? We have an unemployed elf, of course. We have a living toilet. A toilet that has a consciousness and also has legs so it could walk. Then we have a morbidly obese man who would need to be rolled in order to go along with you. And we also have a tiny, 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 tiny little man. But he has a sword.
Steve scans the available party members with a mixture of fascination and confusion. A three-legged dog, a chair, a spittoon, a jobless elf, a living toilet, a morbidly obese man, a tiny man, but he has a sword. That's quite the array of options. I never expected to have such a diverse group of potential recruits, let alone inanimate objects. Who would have thought a toilet would be a viable choice?
If you would like to use 300 of your gold, you could actually upgrade these options and possibly get different candidates. All of them individually would be worth 200 gold. Would you like to do this?
Considering the unusual options, Steve ponders the idea of upgrading. Spending 300 gold on these strange candidates might yield different results. And at 200 gold each, it's not too steep of a price. Why not give it a shot? Let's see what upgrading can do.
All right, we've upgraded and re-rolled the candidates. Now the candidates stand as follows. A four-legged dog. We have a full couch. We have a living toilet that also has eyes. We have a morbidly obese man, but he is in a motorized power scooter. We have an elf who recently found employment, but he has no skills to speak of. And we also have, let's see what we have here. We have Gary Busey?
Steve takes in the upgraded options, trying to fathom the absurdity of it all. A four-legged dog, a full couch, a living toilet with eyes, a morbidly obese man in a scooter, a skillless elf, and Gary Busey. Wait, Gary Busey? This just keeps getting crazier. How the hell did he end up here?
I have no idea, but it must have had something to do with that motorcycle accident.
Steve can't help but laugh at the thought of Gary Busey joining their quest. That's true. The
Gary
motorcycle
Busey.
accident certainly explains his presence here. All right, let's see. Which of these upgraded options should we go with? A four-legged dog, a full couch, a living toilet, a morbidly obese man in a scooter. This is quite a circus. And Gary Busey, well, he's just a wild card.
It's up to you, Steve. The ball's in your court. Each of them costs 200 gold, and that's all you've got left.
Rubbing his chin, Steve mulls over the options, trying to make an informed decision. Ultimately, he decides to go with, all right, let's go with the full couch. It might not be the most conventional party member, but I have a feeling it could come in handy in unexpected ways. Plus, it's a comfortable choice. Winking at the couch, Steve adds with a chuckle, and who knows, maybe it'll bring some soothing vibes to our group.
That's a great choice, Steve. The couch walks over to join you. You should probably check its stats. He goes for the couch.
As the couch joins the party, Steve chuckles at the thought of it being a formidable force in battle. He checks its stats. All right, let's see what the stats for our new couch party member are.
All right, Steve, there's 3 answers on the board. Top answers only, and go ahead. Go ahead and guess.
With a touch of amusement, Steve scans the answers on the board. All right, let's see what we have here. 3 answers, top answers only. Let's give it a shot.
All right, let's see, Steve.
Steve takes a couple moments to think, then throws caution to the wind and just goes for an answer. What's the worst that could happen? All right, my fearless guess is couch.
Couch is one of them. You're correct. That's the top answer.
Steve can't help but pump his fist in victory as his guess is confirmed correct. Yes, I knew it was the couch. I can't believe it. My trust in furniture has paid off.
All right, you're now able to imbue 2 abilities into the couch. What would you like them to be?
Steve pauses, contemplating which abilities would best suit the couch. He wants to maximize its usefulness on this quest. Well, the couch is already a sturdy and comfortable presence in our group. I'd like to imbue it with 2 abilities, one for combat and one for support. For combat, let's give it a surprising attack, fold, where it can magically fold and unfold with lightning fast speed, surprising opponents. For support, let's grant it a comforting ability, relaxation, allowing it to emit a calming aura, restoring a small amount of stamina to allies.
That's a great idea, Steve. I've just imbued the couch with these abilities. The couch cannot speak, however. You're going to have to raise his intelligence as you use it for battle. And if I also forgot to mention, if the couch perishes or if the dog perishes, they're gone for good. There is no resurrection spell. There is no Phoenix down, nothing like that. Just so you're aware.
Understanding the gravity of the situation, Steve nods solemnly. I see. So the couch and the dog are both susceptible to permanent damage or death. That definitely raises the stakes of our journey. I'll do my best to keep them safe and maximize their usefulness in battle. And increasing the couch's intelligence will be a priority. Thanks for the heads up.
Anytime, Steve. Why don't we head out again with your new party member?
With a determined nod, Steve leads the way out of the tavern, followed by the 4-legged dog and the couch. All right, team, we've got new allies and new abilities. Let's venture forth and face whatever challenges come our way. With a slight laugh looking at the couch. Who knew a couch could be such a valuable member of our party?
All right, let's leave it off there. It's getting late. I got to take off. Thank you for watching, everybody. That was a lot of fun. I'm very invested in the Steve RPG, the Steve RV Dungeons and Dragons quest. I'm gonna have to revisit this soon. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for joining me on this this journey. It's been interesting. I think after the chaos that we caused, this is a pretty good lighthearted ending to all this. I'll be back soon. I might even be back tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe I'll make it 4 days. But thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. And have a good night, everybody. Goodbye.